as to what we've got coming up tonight. I do feel a little bit small as well. I have just altered the camera a little bit for the Wrestling Escape Pods. So it looks like it's resulted in me just looking a little bit not quite right. I need to alter that a little bit. But yeah, shout out to everyone that is joining us. Better? Oh, that's a bit better. Right, yes. Yeah, so what have we got tonight? We have got Rhea Ripley taking on Lyra Valkyria. So Rhea Ripley against Lyra Valkyria. Bit of a surprise that, because you might remember last week, Lyra and Rhea had a few words. They were good words. You know, Rhea went up to Lyra and said, I told everyone you was a badass. And Lyra said, well, you know, as soon as I get my hands on JC Jane, I'll show you that I am. So it felt like, actually in a strange way, it felt like Rhea was kind of mentoring Lyra. So I haven't seen how this match has come about, but apparently this is a match we're getting. We're getting Rhea Ripley against Lyra Valkyria tonight, which it's one of those really fun matches, because there's several points throughout the year where you'll get a big name taking on like a smaller superstar. It might be in NXT. It might be on like Access, WrestleMania Access. Sometimes they do some at there. It might be at a show like Worlds Collide. It might be on WWE Main Event. That tends to be a place where you get main roster stars taking on NXT talent. And it's just one of those quirky little things where it's like, oh, did you see that match? That was a good match when, you know, such and such took on such and such. This is one of those examples. Rhea Ripley against Lyra Valkyria is really two different worlds colliding, because you've got Rhea Ripley firmly established on the main roster, obviously a women's champion, women's world champion, has competed at WrestleMania a good few times now, beaten the likes of Charlotte Flair. You know, she's all over Raw. I mean, she's got to be one of the most pushed women in all of WWE. So seeing her now step into a ring with Lyra Valkyria, who is a great prospect for the future. NXT are really getting behind Lyra. She got to the final, obviously, for the women's title tournament, losing to Tiffany. They're on board with her. So this is one of those fun little matches where it'd be like, do you remember when Rhea took on Lyra Valkyria in NXT? So I'm really into this match. I'm quite excited for it. So we've got that tonight. And I think I love both women. I think that's going to really bang. So looking forward to that. Dominik Mysterio, of course, is going to be on the show. The other thing as well is we're going to hear from Gable Steveson. Gable Steveson's making his decision tonight. What's he going to do? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Is he going to the Olympics? Is he going to become a florist? Is he going to become a butcher? Is he going to become a ballet dancer? I don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to let us know tonight. And then, of course, we've got Cora Jade against Dana Brooke in a kendo stick match. So that should be fun as well. NXT on a hot run at the moment. NXT doing a great job. So of like with ratings and just a bit of buzz and everything. So yeah, looking forward to that lineup tonight. Gable yawn, said Sergeant Sugar. Sergeant Sugar not a fan. Is Dom fighting today, said Jay Walt. There's no news about Dom fighting, but there is news that he is going to open the show. Apparently, he and Rhea are going to be opening the show tonight. So I would imagine that someone's going to step up to Dom. I would imagine that Wesley is going to call for a rematch. So no word that I saw on him having a match, but I expect him to be heavily involved this evening. Miss Clan said, I couldn't care less about Gable. He can go. Gable Steveson will stay on NXT. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, says Hayden. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that Gable, I can't imagine that they would do a big announcement like this if he was going to go off now for ages. I think if you're going to do this kind of an announcement, it's that he's is chosen WWE. He could go to the Olympics, but he's chosen to stay here in NXT. This means more than the Olympics. So I agree. That's what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting him to say, nah, I'm off by. I'm expecting him to say, you know, I've loved my time here and I want it to continue. So, yeah, I'm thinking that we're going to have him make that announcement. But, well, we'll wait and see. We'll find out. He might surprise me by saying that he does want to go to the Olympics one more time. But I don't know. I expect him to stay. I also think that, I mean, I know that there is allegations that have been made against him. I don't know enough about that, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know, like, I don't know the allegations. I don't know. I believe that they were of, like, a sexual nature. But I don't know, like, I don't know the allegations. I don't know the likelihood of them being accurate. I believe they're things that he denies that happened. So, but that seems to be something that a lot of people have found quite uncomfortable. So I've seen a lot of people online saying, nah, I'm not interested in him. You know, he's done. I mean, I don't want to really sit here from a position of ignorance, to be honest. I'm not saying I don't know them because I'm trying to avoid the conversation. I'm saying I don't know them because I don't know them. But I'm quite happy to have a quick look at them. Will they be on his Wikipedia page? Wikipedia? Nope. Gable Steveson. Allegations. 2019. This is Cultaholic. Yeah, I'm trying to get onto their website. Okay. Because of inadequate evidence to fairly charge or prosecute. Few details about the case have been made public. Minnesota's laws on intoxication and victims' ability to give consent meant the office was restricted on the charges that they could bring forward. Minnesota law at the time stated a person who is sexually assaulted is not considered mentally impaired if they voluntarily drink alcohol or consume drugs to the point where they couldn't give reasoned consent. The law was changed earlier this year. Okay. After the investigation drew attention on social media, Steveson issued the following statement. One of the challenges for me personally, especially over the past several months, years, has been reading the criticisms and attacks on my character by people that don't know me personally or my values. No charges were ever brought by anyone, and the entire episode has been difficult for everyone involved. Going forwards, people who don't know me hopefully will see the kindness, respect, and empathy that are virtues that I take very seriously in my life. So that was his statement. So no charges were brought forward. It seems like there's a few question marks around the law at the time. And it seems like there wasn't like much in the way of evidence. And also there's a few question marks around the law. It's one of those. I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? People are those kind of allegations are going to be enough for some people to go, nah, done, not interested. For me, I can't really take anything from that. Like, I wasn't there. I don't know what's gone on. No charges have been brought. I'm a big believer in innocent until proven guilty. So for me, I don't have any issue with Gable Steveson. I think that he is someone that has got an exciting future. I think that he's one of the best amateur wrestlers that we've seen. I think that this is going to be a bit of a cloud that's going to hang over him. Hopefully it's something that can be moved forward from. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, I always think innocent till proven guilty. I always try to put myself in that situation where if I'm being accused of something, you know, I would like to think I would get my chance to have my say, you know, if I was in his shoes, you know, and not have people just jump on the fact that an allegation has been made and it must be true. It's a gray area though, isn't it? You know, it's a very gray area. So I can understand why people are uncomfortable with it. But I have always said, and I do stand by this. I have always said that we won't shy away from those kinds of conversations. I don't believe in shying away from those conversations, because really we should be able to talk about, you know, imagine if we couldn't talk about something and like we were having to tiptoe around it and we were all quite nervous about saying how we felt. I mean, imagine if the world worked that way. Like, you should be able to express your opinion. And so I don't have a problem with doing that. And I don't have a problem shying away from something that might get a little uncomfortable either. So, yeah, at least we've kind of educated ourselves as to what that was about. And as I said, I can totally understand why people would be distant towards him with not knowing if that is something that has happened or not. But I can't bring myself to just assume that it is true. Yeah, I think I'm all right to still just watch WWE feel. I mean, WWE obviously have got a lot of advertisers and sponsors and a lot of responsibilities. And we've seen that they wouldn't take any risks with the likes of Mandy Rose. You know, they said with her, you've either got to choose to put some clothes on or, like, you know, you need to go type situation. And she decided she wanted to continue doing her side project. And so she ended up going. I don't think WWE, if they felt uncomfortable with this, would continue with Gable Steveson. What with the sponsors, the advertisers, and, you know, everything that's involved, because of the hit that it would be to their image as well. So it's a real show of support from WWE that they're standing with Gable Steveson throughout this episode as well. But as we know, you know, doesn't mean a great deal, does it? LA Dark Knight says, I agree, but I think we get exposed to so much misery. We don't always want to read and watch the awful stuff. We need a bit of escapism. That's true. I think, though, when you have got something like this, though, where I've sensed it. I mean, I sensed it when you've got someone like Gable Steveson, who hasn't done anything, right? He hasn't really done anything to warrant any kind of negative react. I'm not talking about the allegations. I'm talking about what we've seen on screen. To see people in the chat going, oh, I don't care about Gable. No, I'm not interested. And I have seen this online as well, where people have said, like, I want him to leave, I want him to go, and stuff like that. I've seen that reaction on social media. So if we are now going to start a journey with Gable Steveson, and we're going to watch, because I expect him to say he's staying today. I expect him to say that he's going to stick around. So I think that if we're going to start this journey with him, I think we need to be very clear with where we've been with the allegations, what he's said about them, what, you know, were charges pressed, what were those allegations, how long ago was it? Not that that makes a difference, but, you know, is this, for those that don't know, is this last week? Was this last month? Was this last year? Was this 2 years ago? Was it 5 years ago? So, you know, just to kind of get a bit of an idea around that. So, yeah, I mean, I agree that this wrestling is escapism. But to be honest, there are going to be times where we can't avoid those types of conversations. You know, I mean, look at the stuff that's just happened with Vince. I mean, there's no way that we couldn't talk about that. Or look at the stuff that went down with, like, the Velveteen Dream. Or look at the stuff that happened with Nash Carter and MSK. Like, you're not going to escape. You're not going to totally ever escape from that stuff, because this is a form of entertainment that involves real life people and real life people getting real life situations. So, you know, you're never going to escape from it, unfortunately. Canceling people, accusing of people that's done a bit too easily these days without knowing the whole story, says Trini. I didn't know about the allegations. I just find him boring, said Miss Cam. Okay. Daze, I've sent you a DM about something down the line. Okay. I will, yeah, well, on Twitter. I will check it out. Wrestle Andy shouts, you said, do you prefer Joe Gacy's Harland days or him with Schism? I think I prefer him with Schism. I think when he was with Harland, there wasn't really anything special there. It was just him with Harland. Now, what I will say is that was probably around the time that I stepped away for a bit. So I probably didn't see all of that play out. I don't believe they were together for like a really long time. So I don't think there was a great deal there. I would say that I also managed to avoid Joe Gacy against Bron Breakker. I have seen clips of that. I think the Druids, the arrival of the dyad, the reveal of the dyad, I think it's some of the worst stuff I've ever seen from NXT. I think it was awful. I think it looked cheap. I think it looked tacky. I think it looked cheesy, cringy. I think it was awful. I think NXT is so much classier than that, better than that, refined. You know, this is where, if anything, this is where like really good, promising, upcoming talent gets to really show its stuff. Before, if we're being honest, it goes to the main roster and tends to get ruined, or at least used to get ruined. It's you know, it really could show what it could do. You know, you had the likes of Finn Balor, and you could just really let Balor express himself. You had the likes of Samoa Joe, you could let him express himself. You got DIY, you could let them express themselves. You had Bayley, you had Sasha, you had Charlotte. You know, when I think of NXT, I think of that. I think of Shinsuke coming in. I think of Asuka coming in. I think of William Regal as GM. I think of great indie wrestlers, or wrestlers from, say, Impact, or wrestlers coming in from New Japan, or wrestlers coming in from Progress, you know, like your Pete Dunnes, your Mustache Mountains coming over. I think of Full Sail. I think of that. And so, you know, the Dyad and Druids, and the costumes look cheap as well. Like, it just awful, horrible. Just really not in line with, you know, Balor expressing himself, Samoa Joe expressing himself, Hideo Itami, you know, all those kind of people. So I would say that Joe Gacy has been really frustrating for me, because I think what you've got is you've got someone that could be the next Bray Wyatt. You don't want him to be Bray Wyatt, but you want him to kind of find his own niche. You want him to find his own way forward, and they've really struggled with it. They've really struggled. They gave him Harland, but they didn't really give them much to do. I think at least with the Schism, we've got the yellow masks, which I really like. I like the yellow masks. I like Gacy and the 70s shades. I like that look for him. I think it's a good look. I like the yellow masks. I like the idea of a faction. I love Ava being with him. I think that's great, because I think that she is naturally intriguing, because she is The Rock's daughter, and you don't need to know anything about her other than she's The Rock's daughter. And so as a result of that, you're constantly watching her and watching her develop and evolve and improve. And you're constantly assessing, like, you know, where is she now in her development? And actually, she's come on loads. You know, she's gone from being like, you remember when we first was introduced and she just had the red hood and she kind of was quite quiet, kept herself to herself. She talks a lot more now. She talks with confidence more now. We haven't seen a lot of her like in ring, but you know that she's been working on that all throughout. And I'm sure we'll get to the point where she'll start having regular matches. But I like her with Gacy. I think they're a good couple. Not in like a relationship way, like a sort of weird brother sister, big brother little sister sort of dynamic. Kind of I like those two together. And then you've got Grizzled Young Veterans, the Dyads, who I think are such a great tag team. Really great tag team. I don't think I think they needed credibility. They should be the tag champs. They should be winning matches. They should be unbeatable, unstoppable. But instead, they're more Joe Gacy's foils. They're more his lackeys. And I don't like that. That doesn't sit well with me. So I don't think I feel like we're about 50% of where we need to be. I think the Harlan stuff had very little going for it. I just don't think there was much there. I can't say that there was anything there that I really felt, yeah, that'll work on the main roster. Or like, yeah, this'll, you know, at least with this, we've got a faction, we got the Yellow Masks, we got the Shades, we got good people, we got a great tag team, we've got Ava, I think she's got great potential. I like the dynamic between her and Joe Gacy. I like the fact we've moved away from like druids and stuff like that. We don't need that. The 4 roots, 1 tree thing, I think is fine. I think I would like to see them doing something though. Like, what do they stand for? I feel like that's missing. What's Schism about? What do they stand for? They're kind of a cult, but not really a cult. And they've got all these people that are following them. Where did they come from? Where did they come from? Who are they? I don't think I've seen any backstage segments where I've been introduced to any of them. Or we haven't seen any recruitment drives. Or we haven't seen any meetings. Or we haven't seen... I don't know what their philosophy is or what they're standing for. And to be honest, they might be keeping all that quite quiet, because once they reveal what they're standing for and what the schism is all about, really about... then they might be getting a bit too tied down to something. So they might want a little bit more wiggle room. They might want to keep it a bit loose and fresh. And so, yeah, I don't mind the schism. I don't mind the schism. I like everyone that's in it. And I'm totally down for like a cult. And as I said, I feel like we're about 50% where I would want to be with it. I think there's some good pieces there, but it feels like we need to do something with them. And I know that we've been having this little feud with like Breeds and Ivy Nile, but again, I haven't really done much. I don't feel like we've done much. Although I did like Joe Gacy being the one to say that it'll be loser leaves NXT. And we did a little tease of the Dyad not being happy about that. That was good. I would go as far as to say that little story of the Dyad not being happy and Gacy putting them in a loser leaves NXT match, I would go as far as to say that's the best thing I think I've ever seen them do. Because it felt like we were telling a story that made sense. It was credible. I like everyone that's involved. I think there's some real potential there. I think there's some real potential with them. So I'm going Schism. I'm on board with them. Tottenham owner has done insider training. Reminds me of when me and my brother got caught at Monopoly. Tottenham's owner has been done for insider training. Has he? I haven't seen this. The Creeds are hiding in those masks, says Nelson. Spurs owner Joe Lewis has been charged with insider trading in the US. I wonder what that'll mean for Spurs. Hopefully not much. I obviously Anna is a big Spurs fan. I don't want to see Spurs, you know. You want to see like with the football season coming up, you want to see the teams raring to go, really. Want to see, like, you know, the teams, everyone having a little something about themselves. I don't really want to see Spurs fall off now and struggle or whatever. But no, I want to see, like, the teams raring to go. Like, oh, man, you know. The excitement of the Premier League coming back. I don't want it to get derailed by some scandals. So hopefully it won't affect stuff. Should Bret Hart have never taken that AEW role? I think it makes a difference. I mean, what did he do? I remember he unveiled the title. He carried the title down. I don't remember him doing anything other than that, though. So I can't say it changed anything. I can't say it soured my opinion of him, or I don't think it affected anything, to be honest. Didn't Didn't affect me, didn't resonate with me. Was I surprised when he did it? I don't know. He's had a bit of a love-hate relationship with WWE and Vince throughout his whole life. So if someone's going to rock up and offer him a good amount of money, I think Brett is always going to be available. I think WWE have tied him down to a Legends deal now, though, so he's no longer available. But yeah, I don't think Brett feels a massive loyalty to WWE, considering everything that's happened. I mean, you can't really blame him, can you? So, you know, his brother passing away and the way he was treated over the Montreal screw job and, you know, all that stuff. So, and the way that he was meant to get the title back off Hogan in 93 and it doesn't happen. Like, I think there was quite a few promises that were made to him that never came off. So you can sort of understand him not feeling the most loyal person in the world. Miss Clown said wrestling needs live snowmen with slime pulstals. What the hell's that? What's a pulstal? Never even heard of that. Wild said, I hate how Dominik is in every brand. I get that he's the North American champion, but he doesn't need to be on all three brands. It makes sense that he's on Raw and NXT, but not SmackDown. Aries said, who would be happy to see me, Chance, Riser, Patty, Daddy, confront Hayes and Trick? I don't know who these people are. Aries, I don't think we would know who these people are, or maybe these are famous people. I don't know who they are. Daze said United Wrexham after NXT, said Daz. Yeah, I must admit, it's not really on my radar. I'm a bit of a. I'm not a Man United fan that will watch all the pre-season games and all that kind of stuff. Sort of feel like I've done that in the past, and you don't really learn anything. Pre-season games are more for fitness, and so you want to watch the players running around just really improving their fitness. That's really what all you can take from the games. Saw a lot of excitement that United had beaten Arsenal. I don't put any stock in that whatsoever. Don't put any stock in it. I think I learned kind of long ago to really... I mean, I've seen United have amazing pre-seasons where they batter teams, good teams as well, and then just really struggle in the league. Just really struggle. And it's because, like, teams they're not focused on really the result. They're cash grabs, aren't they? Let's be honest. They're going over to America and they're going over to Asia and they're going to these countries in pre-season just to, kick a ball around in front of the fans, give the fans an opportunity to see the players, which is cool, amazing. I'm really pleased for everyone that they get a chance to do that. I don't begrudge it them, but I certainly don't think you can look at the result and take anything away from the results. So United Wrexham, United Real Madrid. I think these are a couple of games that are coming up, but for me, I'm sure I'll interact with the result. I'll see the result somewhere. I'll probably hear about who scored or how the game went somewhere somehow. But it ain't something that I'm going to be sitting down searching out, trying to watch and all that stuff. As I said, I just sort of a long time ago learned that they just don't mean anything. Don't mean it. So I'm very excited for the new season though, but right now I am still in cricket mode. I'm basically cricket days with a little bit of wrestling strapped on the side. Loving the cricket at the moment. Preseason games are annoying. You can win 10 preseason games and then go and lose the first game. Yeah, I've seen United doing that. Seen United have some brilliant pre-seasons that have got me so excited for the season. I'm like, oh my God, it's clicking. It's clicking. Look at this. Love the link-up play there. Love this. Yeah, that player looks $1 million, man. We've got a great signing there. And you get all excited, and then the first game happens, you lose. You're absolutely right. And then, like, all of a sudden, it feels like the season's ended on the first day. I ain't playing that game this year, so I'll wait for the proper stuff to start. But if you are watching it, you know, enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you, if you are someone that enjoys watching the preseason stuff, and I don't know, perhaps you're looking to see, you know, certain players looking sharp. How's Mason Mount going to link up? Are we going to see the new goalkeeper? You know, there's a few little bits that you can definitely look out for. But I really wouldn't read too much into the results. There's some great cricket quotes in that sport book, said Miss Clown. Yeah, that sport book, man. Even Bill asked me about that book. He was like, "What's that?" And I went, "It's a book, but it's the worst book I've ever seen. It's a sports quote book, but the quotes aren't inspirational. They're not funny, and they're actually quite boring." And he just laughed. And I was like, "I'll read you." And I read him one, and it was all of those things that I said. And I was like, "See, it's rubbish, isn't it?" James said, "We won all of our preseason games last year, and then we got, I'll use the word beaten, James. Then we got beaten by Brighton and Brentford." Yeah, I actually think it can be a little dangerous, because I think it can lull you. This is just a lesson I've learned in the past. It can lull you into a false sense of security. I've seriously got pretty excited for United and their forthcoming season off the back of preseason games. And then, as you rightfully said, you go into that season and bang, you just get slaughtered. It's just, you know, competitive games are just so much different. It's just different gravy, innit? It's different gravy. What are your top 5 WWE theme songs, said Not JPEG. This one tends to come up every, you know, few months. I think it's a hard one to answer, because I never quite know how to answer it, because are we talking theme songs that just so work for the wrestler that you go, "Oh God, that's brilliant," and it's just, you wouldn't change it? I'm thinking Undertaker. I mean, I don't think anyone would change Undertaker's music, right? Amazing. It's perfect. His entrances have got to be the greatest entrances in the history of pro wrestling. They've got to be, right? You know, think WrestleMania, when it was time for his match during the streak, and the gong went and the smoke, and, you know, he might rise up from the bottom of the stage, or even if he just steps out the entranceway, slowly walking his way with it was so atmospheric that you just wouldn't change his music, would you? But is that a song that when I'm on a train or, you know, doing whatever, is that a song I'm going to put on and like listen to? No, it's not. So when it comes to like, what's your favorite theme, I find that a difficult one to answer, because like, I could say Undertaker, but Undertaker is not a theme that I would ever really go out of my way to listen to. But in the moment that he's walking out, it's perfect. I mean, theme songs that I like listening to, I always liked Alistair Black's. Alistair Black's I really liked as a theme song to listen to. I thought that was really good. It was obviously quite like heavy. It was who was it? Code Orange. I want to say it's the same group of people that do Braze. I don't really like Braze too much, to be honest. I think it, you know, the new one, the new Bray one, I think it's okay. I don't hate it. The Shatter one, I don't hate it, but as a piece of music, it's not something I would listen to. But I liked Alistair Black's. That was by the same group. I like DX. I think everyone likes DX. I remember listening to that quite a bit when I was young. It was on some of their like anthology type collections. I think DX normally, I think WWE did like a top themes countdown, and I'm sure DX came in at number 1. I think DX was number 1. Are you ready? Break it down. So yeah, DX comes to mind. Alistair Black's comes to mind. Dakota Kai had one. It's a weird one, because when she was face and she was in NXT, which is going back a long time now, because when she was in NXT, she was a heel. You have to go back to when she like first came into NXT, going back to like, I don't know, 2017, something like that. She was face, and she had like a bit of a dance track, which you might listen to and go, it's okay. Yeah, it's all right. but I loved it. I don't know why. It was just a piece of music that I heard, and I was like, yeah, man, this has got everything in it that I love. It was bouncy, it was fun, it was had a good like vibe to it as well, and I was really enjoyed it. I think there was like some, not chanting, but there was some sort of lyric in there that was repetitive, which it was just a good listen. I remember playing that a few times on a train, and I was like, yeah, man, I love this track. That was Dakota Kai when she was face down in NXT. I really like that. I've said before, I love Kamala. Kamala's a weird one because the Kamala character's a little controversial. But I love the Kamala character. I love Kamala as a wrestler, as a character. I love the music. I love the music as not only being perfect for the wrestler, it's tribal, and it's got like a tribal chant to it. But it's a really good listen as well. Like I love that kind of tribal African influence, like chanting. It's so, I don't know, primal, maybe. I don't know. It just kind of hits me on a deeper level. It's I find it very satisfying. So I really like that as well. But as I said, I mean, that character probably got a bit of controversy associated with it, which is a shame, to be honest, because I thought it was a great character. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, Shawn Michaels is cool, but I don't think I'd ever really listen to it or go out my way to listen to it. Triple H is good because it's Motorhead's. Motorhead's cool. Motorhead's like a proper legit band, great band as well. So I think you'd have to include like Triple H in the conversation. A lot of people might go with Randy Orton. Got a good entrance music. To be honest, though, I mean, I think there's a lot of good tracks. I don't think, if I'm being honest, there's many that I would particularly choose to go out my way to listen to. I'm thinking I'm on a train. I want to listen to like a theme or a few themes. What am I reaching for? And honestly, I don't think there's loads. Like, I ain't listening to HBKs, and I ain't listening to Bret Hart, and I ain't listening to Hulk Hogan, and I ain't listening to The Ultimate Warrior, and I'm not going to be listening to Finn Balor or maybe Edge. Edges is all right. I don't mind Edges. Do you know what? I really like Judgment Day. Judgment Day's a good track. I think that's because they're using actual songs. I think, like, aren't they Alter Bridge? I think Edges was Alter Bridge. So they're actual tracks, actual songs from actual bands off actual albums. So, of course, they're going to be easy to listen to. But I think the vast majority are just good for the wrestler, if that makes sense. I think they're just good for the wrestler. And to be honest, there's some that aren't even good for the wrestler. There's some that are just pretty rubbish. I mean, I remember Nia Jax's just didn't work on any level. I mean, I don't know anyone that would enjoy listening to that as a song. Not like most girls, you know. Not like most girls. I mean, horrible. And for her, horrible, horrific. She needed something that was like, you know, Brock Lesnar-esque. Bum, 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 bum. Like something like that. She needed something that was imposed, something that made you go, oh man, here comes trouble. Here comes the beast. You know, you need something like that for Nia because she's big, imposing. You don't need, I'm not like most girls. It's like singing your hairbrush kind of music. A little princess. I remember there's I don't know if it's on Breaking Ground, but there is some footage of her hearing that song for the first time on the network. You get to see her reaction. She's devastated. She's devastated. She can't believe it. I'm right there with her. And you know, they never change it, do they? It's awful. Awful. Hated that. I thought it was awful. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy, said Lance. The looks that drive the girls wild. I'll have to take your word for that, Lance. I'll have to trust that that's true. Trini said Naya's theme was still better than Prima. Yeah. Wow. Was it? At least you could have fun with. I mean, in all fairness, Triple T, I remember in some of his old videos would just shout that like Prima, blah, 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 blah. Like he would just like, I don't know. At least you could have fun with that first part of it. You can't really have any fun with Naya's theme. Prima, blah, 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 blah. It is bad. You are right. You're not wrong. It is bad. I said I might send you a DM. Okay. Chris said, I'm sitting here with my 8-year-old and she is watching the YouTuber Unspeakable, and lo and behold, The Undertaker is on his show. Lo and behold, The Undertaker is on his show. Well, on the YouTuber's show. That's cool. I'm trying to think what show Undertaker's been on. I don't think I've seen him go on any shows recently. So that is probably one that has passed me by. Billy said, Daze, is it me or has NXT got better over the years? No, I think it's got better. I'm really enjoying it. Oh, I can't say it's better than it was back in the day. I think if you're going like Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, like Asuka, Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha, you know, Becky, obviously when she was down there. The Revival, of course. American Alpha, of course. You know, I think that kind of periods where we're going, say, 2014 through till 2018, that kind of 4 years. I think that stuff's amazing. I think it's amazing. I think some of the best stuff WWE ever did. I think it's amazing. And you know, for a lot of people, it continued beyond that. I think once we get to, for me, I think there was a definite decline in NXT just before the pandemic, and I don't know why. I like Velveteen Dream, Cameron Grimes, that kind of period, like Undisputed Era starting to split up, and like Undisputed Era when they first arrive, amazing. Undisputed Era when they're together as a faction, amazing. But Undisputed Era, certainly when it's like Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, it results in some good matches between them. But I think the shows are weaker by not having the Undisputed Era on them. Instead, it's like a more fractured, they've split up type Undisputed Era. That is, for me, I think there was starting to be a bit of a wobble before the pandemic, and then the pandemic was just awful. But that was awful for everyone and everything. It wasn't just NXT. And then I think when we came out of the pandemic, we obviously struggled a little bit to find our feet. We then went into, we went into 2.0. We decided to just change direction. And in all fairness, I was quite intrigued by 2.0 because, as I said, I'd felt that there'd been a bit of a decline in NXT just before the pandemic. Then the pandemic was not great. Then we do 2.0, and that really was the cherry on top for me because it didn't take long to go. You know, we've literally just gone and grabbed a load of people that have got no wrestling experience, and we're now just trying to get somewhere with them. And it's like, this is going to be hard work for a good 6 months here. So, I mean, it was at that point we sort of stepped away for a little bit, let them work it out, let them, you know, improve, work out on their promos, see where we get to, and we'll pop back type situation. And I came back last year. I want to say it was during like Heat Wave. Can't remember when that was, but I was really impressed with Heat Wave. I thought it was a really good show. And then we've continued watching it, and I've just found myself enjoying it more and more. I would say that this is my second favorite period after that 2014 to 2018 period. For me, this is still a good distance behind 2014, 2018. That was so special. I think you know, you've only got to look at the names that come out of NXT at that time to see how special it was. I mean, we are talking Sasha, Bayley, Becky, we're talking Charlotte, we're talking Sami Zayn, we're talking Kevin Owens, we're talking Finn Balor, we're talking Shinsuke, we're talking Asuka. You know, we're even talking people that have gone over to AEW and made a name for themselves over there. So it was quite the period for producing talent, producing superstars. And I think we've got a good crop right now, to be honest. I think we're in a good place right now. So, yeah, I would completely agree. I think it has got better and better since going back to about 2019. But I would say the period just before that was really, really good. Really, really good. Really was enjoying it around that time. So yeah, it is a pleasure to be watching NXT at the moment. It really is. I really, I don't even know whether I should say it's my favorite show of the week, but I would say that it's in the conversation, very much in the conversation. If someone was like, you can only watch Raw or NXT next week, I think I would go the NXT. You know, I think I would go NXT. Raw at 3 hours, I think you can just always lose an hour. You can always lose an hour. And actually, you know, Raw was a bit flat this week for me. I think SmackDown was a bit flat last week as well. I just think that those shows are just sort of spinning their wheels a little bit. I think we just had a little bit of a week where we just sort of did a little bit of housekeeping. We just sort of did a little bit of making matches that we already knew were going to get made, but we just had to, you know, cross the T, dot the I, not really do anything too exciting. I think one of the most exciting things that happened was Liv getting destroyed, which we did talk about on the Wrestling Escape Pods. And it seems like the reason why that happened was because she's legitimately got an injury. And it looks like they were trying to find a way of actually writing her off TV for a bit. So that's why it probably felt like the most significant thing that's happened, because I think it is a significant thing that's happened. So yeah, that looks like it's sad news that, you know, according to Dave Meltzer, it's believed she's got a legit injury and could be written off for a little while, unfortunately. Liv, if you are watching, I hope you make a speedy recovery. George, shout out to you, said this is going to be my first time watching NXT. Okay. Well, you've chose a good time. Chose some good stuff. It's getting some great ratings at the moment. It's getting some bit of buzz around it right now. I think from a show point of view, it's in a good place. Obviously, the big shock was last week with Dominik Mysterio winning that championship. So I don't know if we can like deliver something this week that's going to be as big as that moment last week, but I've no doubt that this will still be a solid show, even if it maybe is going to miss like a moment as big as that we got last week. But Great American Bash coming up, isn't it? I mean, not going to have to wait long. When is that? Is that this? When is that? When is the Great American Bash? Because if it is this Sunday, I haven't set up the stream. It is this Sunday, the 30th of July. Oh no! Oh no! Does that mean this is a go-home show? Oh! Oh! Don't want it to be a go-home show. I didn't think about that. Oh. Oh, I didn't think about that. Hopefully it will be all right still. Oh, it's probably just going to be a go home, innit? It's just going to be a load of people talking about what they're going to do at Great American Bash. The card for Great American Bash, then. So we've got Carmelo Hayes against Ilya Dragunov. Oh, God, what a match. What a match that's going to be. What? You don't miss that. Don't miss that. If you're going to watch summer, make sure you tune in to Carmelo Hayes against Ilya Dragunov. Don't miss that match. Gallus against the D'Angelo family. That's had good story. It's had a good build. That has. I'm quite engaged. Let's put it that way. With that, it's for the NXT tag titles. Can Tony and Stax do it? I wonder if Stax will turn on Tony after being there for him all the way throughout. Tiffany against Thea Hale. I don't mind it. I just don't think Thea is a credible opponent. She's really young. She hasn't really had much in the way of any feuds. And for some reason, she now finds herself like getting an opportunity for the NXT Women's Championship on a massive stage. I mean, like, honestly, could we not have gone with, like, I don't know, someone a bit more established? I love Thea Hale. I just think this is way too soon. And Blair Davenport against Roxanne Perez. In a way, you could probably make an argument if Roxanne wins that she could become #1 contender. I don't think Blair against Tiffany would make much sense. But, yeah, that's the card so far. Probably do need another match getting chucked on there. Okay, so Dom and Rhea making their way out to the ring. You know Rippers has got a match tonight. I do, bud, yeah. Taking on Lyra. Exciting. I'm excited. Sign me up. Can someone tell me what time Great American Bash starts? No. I will. I'll have a look. What time do you start? Stand up! Stand up! Said Booker. $8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, Rippers. Look at us. Finn Balor will be the new heavyweight champ. Damian Priest is Senor Money in the Bank. Now boos for Dirty Dom. Now boos for Dirty Dom. Dirty Dominik Mysterio is your new NXT North American champion. People on their feet. Voice sounds like it's going. I finally made the Mysterio name relevant. Those kids. Boo him louder, kids. Boo him louder. What are they chanting? Something to do with the mullet? Cut the mullet. 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 I love how he was shaking his hair around. Here's Wes. Wesley makes his way down. Wesley was the guy that was defeated, of course, for that North American Championship. So Wesley has made his way down. He is not happy. Put my heart into that title. He wants his rematch. He wants his rematch. A new North American champ is what NXT needed. We need a new North American champion tonight, says Wes. Okay, I don't know whose music this is. Mustafa Ali. That's a bad sign, isn't it? You can play Mustafa Ali's music. I ain't got a clue what it sounds like. Never hear it. He's got no love for Dum Dum. Mustafa Ali makes his way down. You stole your daddy's 619. You stole your other daddy's frog splash. Stole my opportunity. Dirty Dom swinging the belt. Mustafa Ali calls Wesley a clown that dropped the ball. Triple threat. Triple threat. Crowd are chanting triple threat. It's your fault. You let him cut in line, said Mustafa Ali. Okay, so Ali blaming Wes for this. Wes knocking the microphone out of Ali's hands. I'll break all of your records, says Dominik. Oh, big right hand there by Mustafa Ali, but he misses Dominik and he ends up hitting. So he was aiming for Dirty Dom, but he ends up hitting Wes. These two are now brawling. Dominik and Rhea in the entranceway. There's a dude shirt in the crowd that says wrestling is real, people are fake. It's a cool shirt. He's a fellow Beanie brother as well, by the looks of it. Tony's back. Hey, how you doing? Gallus tried to ruin his homecoming last week. Dum Dum Dom, said K-pop lover. Mustafa Ali should win, says Kim. Edward said, I'd also listen to Roman's theme, Ronda's song, Jericho's song, and Rhea's. Ema and Price. So, Nima and Price, you want to make a name for yourself? See you tonight. So, Nima and Price taking on... oh, hello, here we go. Schism in the ring, taking on the D'Angelo family. Six-man tag match tonight. I don't think I remember seeing these guys being announced or anything. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Because this was a backstage fight, wasn't it? With Elia, Carmelo, and Trick. Okay. Ilya. Carmelo. I remembers. Ali is finally getting a life. Lance said, I'm also a proud Beanie brother. Welcome, my Beanie brother. Welcome. Right, I like Bailey's song for her gig. I jam to it a lot, says Q the Light Nights. Right, we are at commercial break. We're 12 minutes in. I don't know what we achieved with that first segment, to be honest. I suppose what we achieved is that we know that there are 3 people circling around that North American title. Dirty Dom, Mustafa Ali, and Wesley. Crowd were chanting triple threat. I don't know that if it was going that way. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Mustafa Ali against Wesley tonight. Winner maybe faces Dom at Great American Bash. Maybe we get a draw or Dom gets involved and it does lead to a triple threat. So yeah, we still need to get a bit more info on that. But crowd are pretty hot tonight, which is good. Ashton, shout out to you. Annette said Daze needs a mullet. I think I haven't really got what. Well, it's on the way, look. There's a little summit there. I am watching NXT with my dog, says Nicole. Shout out to you, Nicole. Shout out to your dog. Is this channel full of Dom haters, says Salami. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Have we got let's do a quick poll. We'll find out. Are you a Dom hater? Are you a Dom hater? I think I got the caps lock wrong, but it doesn't matter. Not bothered. I think I made quite a few mistakes there, to be honest. But you get the point. Anna said, he does not belong on NXT. That's why we can't stand him since he turned heel. Ever, good night, buds. Kim said, I would genuinely be mad if Dom beat Ali because Ali has put in too much work to not win at least one title in 7 years. Ever says, my favorite Edge entrance music is Never Gonna Stop. I'm an everyone hater, says James. James, shout out to you. Daze Dom is growing on us, said Josh. I mean, my feelings about Dom is I just don't care. It's not that I don't like him or anything like that. I just don't feel anything towards him. Like, I know that it is a bit of a big deal when he's on TV just because of the reactions he's getting. It's a bit like LA Knight. I know that when LA Knight's on screen, like he's getting big reactions. So it helps make that segment feel like a significant segment. But like, yeah, with Dom, I don't feel anything. I don't feel a hatred towards it. I think it's because it's just a bit pantomime, isn't it? It's just a little bit like, boo, people just booing for the sake of booing. I think with Dom, part of the, not problem, but I know that he is playing a part. I think wrestling, you know, like with Brock, you know that Brock doesn't like people. Brock doesn't like people. That's no secret. So when he's a heel and he's being all like super standoffish and he's like really like, you know, just snarling at people, you know that that's coming from a place of legitimacy. I just don't believe any of this heel stuff from Dominik. I don't believe it. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think that he's a nasty person. I think all this stuff with his dad has been really scripted and contrived and all that stuff. So I don't know. It's just I just find myself sitting and watching it really. I think even the people that are booing aren't really booing because they really hate him. Are there people that really hate Dominik? Are there people out there that you think really hate Dominik? Or are people just doing it because it's the thing to do? That's an interesting one, actually. I'm actually quite interested in these answers now. Dom is actually one of the few things going for WWE. Rhea's Latino heat. Viva Dirty Dom, said Paul. Dom is a character that you're meant to hate. That's the whole point of what he's doing. Kim said, let's put it in perspective. Ali has been treated badly by creative. Hasn't had one title in his career. He would benefit from one. Dom doesn't need one. Here's Elia. Reg Fuse said, my comments being hidden. I don't think so, but I can see it. People might disagree, but Dominik has been better than a heel than he was as a face. Oh, no, I agree with that. No, I don't disagree with that at all. As a face, he didn't have any reaction or anything going for him. As a heel, you know, look at the reactions he's getting. People do it because it's funny not seeing him be able to talk, says Kim. I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point. I mean, it's fun. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like booing him, or I don't know. I'm not down on it. It's just one that I think, if we're being very honest, like, do I sit here and just like feel a hatred towards him? I don't know. Then saying that, have I ever really felt a hatred towards any heels? Has there ever been any heels that I have actually hated? Ooh. Oh. That is such a, that is a question I don't think I've ever been asked. Let me know. Let me know today's question, which I am really interested in the answer. Has there ever been a heel that you have genuinely hated, that you have genuinely had negative feelings towards? Because right now, off the top of my head, I can't think of a name. I can't think of a heel that I have genuinely hated. I'm even trying to think when I was a kid and I believed it was real, if there was a heel I hated. Carmelo, Trick, and Elia. Let's go. I hated Randy when he kissed Stephanie and handcuffed Triple H. Or maybe it was jealousy, said Kappa. Chase said Eva Marie. Oh, yeah, I did hate Eva Marie. I'll tell you why I hated her, though. I hated her because she was not a good wrestler. It wasn't because she was a good, effective heel. It wasn't because she was good at saying something that would wind me up or doing something that I would be angry towards. The reason why I didn't like her was because she couldn't wrestle, and I was having to watch someone that shouldn't be wrestling because she couldn't do it. And it was annoying. Certainly at that time when NXT, as I said, you know, was so good and it had such great talent. And then here's this girl who came in as part of the Diva search, I believe. That's how she came in. She wasn't a wrestler. She had no previous wrestling experience. They literally brought her in because they wanted to add some pretty faces to the show. Which, I mean, all of that is just stuff that I would hate. I would, you know, coming in for reasons other than being a wrestler, I'm going to hate it. So, that's a good shout, though. That is, you are bang on with, I did, let's say, not appreciate her. Let's put it that way. A heel I genuinely hated is Austin Theory but only during the Vince McMahon protege gimmick. I also hate Logan Paul like everyone else. Logan's interesting. That's interesting. Again, though, I don't hate him because of anything he's said or done. I hate him because he is undeserved, to be honest. He's coming in because of how popular he is, not because of the graft and the grind and the work that he's put in. That is really interesting. I can't think of a heel that I hate because of the work they've done. I think it's more to do with if I deem them to be deserving and worthy. That's what it comes down to. Vince, during the Austin and McMahon rivalry, said wrestle with Andy. Trina said JBL for how he was backstage to people. There's being a healing character and a bad person in real life. That's really interesting. I got researching Big Show and Vicky gig from the past. They had a love affair, so cue the light night. Nicole said, I've got mad respect for Michelle McCool. Didn't Eva Marie lie about her background when she wanted to be Breeze's dance partner? Yes. But I think that was just a setup for Total Divas. So she did lie and say that she had like a dance background, and so they made her like Tyler Breeze's dance partner, and then it turned out she couldn't dance. I have always been under the impression, though, that was scripted and done for Total Divas. So you know what these scripted shows are like, these reality shows. They will put them in situations and create stories and fake drama and stuff. So they've got content, basically. Because if we're being honest, the brutal truth about what it must be like a lot of the time behind the scenes is just pretty dull. Sitting around, do you know what I mean? And catering. Just chatting about, you know, what you've seen on TV or what you've been up to or whatever. So, I think that a lot of what you saw on Total Divas was not genuine. And I've always been under the impression, I don't know for a fact though, but I've always been under the impression that was an example of scripted drama. Kappa said, Daze, Vicky Guerrero, and that, excuse me. Oh, yeah. That's a good shout. That's a good shout. That did great. And that was, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. That's a good shout because Vicky is not someone that I looked at as being undeserving for being in the industry, because she was obviously married with Eddie and she was very much a part of the industry. So I don't have a problem with her being in the industry. So any negative feelings I had towards her was because of things that she was doing when she was here. And excuse me was really annoying, really irritating. And that was something she was doing on purpose to get heat. So that's, I think, a really good shout. I think that's a really good shout. Because I can't think, I genuinely can't think of a heel that I had negative feelings towards. And I felt that way because of something they were doing rather than them being a celebrity or being like Eva Marie that had come in via like a diva search. That's a good one, that. It's good. My Phenomenal Figure said, I hated Daniel Bryan in 2019 because he beat AJ for the WWE Championship. Trini said, I haven't hated someone in wrestling as much as I hated Vince when he told Kofi, you can't be champ implying cuz of his race. I know it was a story, but it was tasteless. It's fair. Justin said, is it true that Nicholas is getting his own action figure? It is true. It's a builder figure, though. So it's one of those where you have to buy 4 figures, get the bits out of them, and then make a Nicholas. So it is true that he is getting his own figure, but it's not one that you can just walk into a shop and pick up off the shelf. You've got to buy 4 figures to get them. They've done that before. I mean, they've done Build-A-Figures or something. I've got a whole video on the channel about Build-A-Figures. But like Jim Ross was a Build-A-Figure. Howard Finkel was a Build-A-Figure. J.J. Dillon was a Build-A-Figure. Paul Bearer was a Build-A-Figure. I think young Dominik Mysterio was a Build-A-Figure. And now they're doing Nicholas. They've done like referees and stuff in the past as well as Build-A-Figures. But yeah, it is Nicholas this time. Right, we got Ilya charging round on the outside. He collides into Carmelo by mistake. Oh, trick by mistake, sorry. Trick by mistake. In the ring goes Gacy, chucks Ilya. Need to be watching this. So I can tell you what's happening and also so I can jot it down. Ilya collides Gacy with a suplex into Trick. By accident, he made a boo-boo. He made a boo-boo. Priority pass packages available now for WrestleMania 40. Right, let's end the poll. We'll see what people are saying. Are you a Dom hater? Do you hate Dominik Mysterio in your heart? He had 179 votes. And, oh, wow. Look at that. Pretty much 50-50. It's like 50 point something and 49 point something. Wow. So we're none the wiser. Good work, everyone. Well done, everyone. Well, what it tells me is that there are people out there that do hate Dominik Mysterio. Oh, I got that from it. 50-50 though. Step up Inzaguri. I feel like Mustafa Ali and Wesley could win the tag team gold if booked right. The Ascension was horrible, said Tingaling. Now we've got some masked people on the outside. Gacy. Did those masked people just take out the dyads? I mean, I'm guessing they're the Creeds. Tag. Carmelo tagging himself in. There's his where was Ava when that happened? Where was Ava when that happened? She seemed to move out the way so that those people could so Carmelo and Trick and Ilya have picked up the win. But these masked people have wiped out the dyads. She sort of like stumbles round the corner, doesn't she? I don't think she saw it. So Carmelo picking up the dub, getting the dub, securing the dub, but Trick's not happy. Trick's not happy with Ilya. Trick's not happy with Ilya. Come on, let's just be friends, yeah? Oh, hello, what's this? Yeah, man, this is sick. Fighting inside a shop. Exclusive footage. Wow, Roxanne and Blair fighting in a shop. Book it better as Booker's idea. Von Wagner takes on Javier Bernal. These two go one-on-one next live. Well, Trick not happy. I think Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter are two of the only actual hated heels because of the times. Maybe Randy Orton in 2009, says Kim. What happened to Elias? Don't know. I just haven't seen him. I mean, is he? I'm not aware of an injury. Elias. Elias needs to return after 2-month absence. WWE has a few superstars who have disappeared for one reason or another. Reports have come out about Elias's contract situation. Current idea is that his deal ended at the end of 2022. Elias hasn't been seen in a long time, and there's been no noise about him. Ringside reached out to inquire about his status. We were unable to confirm his contract situation, but we can confirm that he is not being discussed. This applies to Ezekiel as well. They hadn't heard his name mentioned. No ideas are being pitched for him. Okay. So what's happening? Don't know. No one knows. They've reached out to WWE, and WWE Creative has said his name hasn't been brought up. We don't talk about him. So probably not a good sign, is it, really? Daze, they could bring Elias's brother back, said John. Kim said, it's not hate, but I don't like Dom because I just feel he gets TV time that the rest of the roster deserves because they are more talented. Daniela said, was it the Creed brothers that pulled Dyad off apron? I believe so. I would be surprised if it was someone else. WrestleLandy said, Days, remember when Von Wagner as Kyle O'Reilly's apprentice? No. No, I don't. I remember him being on the main roster in a tag team. And I can't remember who with. Was it ridiculous? Was he up there with Moss? I don't remember him being with Kyle O'Reilly. Who was he on the main roster with? Because there was a buzz around 2020 that they were seeing Summer in him, and he got called up, didn't he? Doesn't mention it on here. I definitely remember him being on Raw or SmackDown during lockdown. People remember that. Oh, was it Shane Thorne? Oh, was it Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink? Oh, I'll have to have a look. Duke Hudson? I don't remember Duke Hudson being up. Camille just finished filming a movie. She played Mildred Bird. It's called Queen of the Ring. Oh, that's amazing. That'll be good. Von Wagner and O'Reilly had a short tag team run. It was before O'Reilly left. Kershawn said, did you hear Ryback is trying to get Goldberg for a match and Goldberg hasn't responded? No. I haven't heard that. We got Tiffany Stratton doing a workout. Great American Bash. I didn't come this far for it to be taken away by some 19-year-old brat. Duke Hudson used to be Brandon Vink. Is that who I'm thinking of? Am I thinking of Brandon Vink? I remember during lockdown, Cal Bloom, there was a big buzz about him, and they said that they really saw something in him. And then I swear he went to the main roster, but he was there for like a week or two. Right now, we've got quite a long Tiffany Stratton video package. Who cares about Cryback and Oldberg? If I was Goldberg, I would not respond. The Thea Warrior. This is better for Tiffany, by the way. I mean, this is just a video package of her saying, I'm going to be the champ, blah, 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 blah. Submission match. It is a triple threat. There we go. Triple threat maids. So, Great American Bash, triple threats. Hey, here's Von Wagner. Right, we've got Dirty Dom, Wesley, Mustafa Ali, Great American Bash. So, Von Wagner against Javier Bernal. Booker T said, have you seen the huge change in Javier Bernal? So Booker T is saying that Javier has made a change. Let's have a look, see if he has. If Thea wins the NXT Championship, the reason to knock Paige out of the youngest champion, said Jim. Wrestling Stats said Shane Thorne, Brendan Vink were on the main roster for a few weeks. They were managed by MVP just after he returned and before the Hurt Business. That's interesting. I don't remember MVP being involved. It's interesting. Kappa said, Daze, happy Tuesday. Your Jake Paul boxing commentary is best. I need it. Is there any way you will stream it after SummerSlam if it's still going? No, I don't think so. I don't think there is a way. It is a shame because if it was a week where we were clear, then obviously I would look to do that. I think also, is that not the same night as a UFC show? So Wagner picking up a win. So no, I mean, unfortunately, we got SummerSlam, and then after SummerSlam, obviously, I've got to do the review recap thing. Trying to get over to do a Jake Paul thing. It's just not going to happen, is it? I would hate to say that we can do it and then we can't do it. But yeah, it's one of those where it's just too much stuff going on. Javier gets put through the commentary table. Oh, speared by Braun. Braun spearing Von out of nowhere. From Breaker against Von Wagner. I mean, this could be fun. Shots raining down by Braun. Going under the ring and grabbing a chair. Trying to use that chair, but Von rolls out the way. Referee comes over, grabs the chair. Well, he didn't hit him. I don't know. Was we meant to see that he didn't hit him? I don't know if that was a bad camera angle. Right, we got Gable Steveson. He's going to be making his announcement next. They snatch the chair away from Braun. So Von beats Javier. Von attacks him after. They're both heels. No, I think Von's been going through a change, to be honest, where he is babyface now. Whoever wrote the Elias Kevin Owens storyline ruined that man's career, said Lance. Yeah, that was not good. John said, do you think we'll see Logan and Jake against Ricochet and a partner in a tag match? No. I think if they were going to do that match, it would probably be for the tag titles. If they're ever going to get Jake to come in and do a WWE match, which is going to be hard because I think not only has he got this boxing thing coming up, but he's also signed up to do like an MMA thing for the, is it PFL? So he is a busy boy. So if ever we was to secure him for a tag match, I think they'd probably do it for the titles. I think they'd probably go really big. Not a lot of great promoting regarding All In, said Big Time. Should be talked about like crazy, and I don't sense that. Little to no build. Do you feel the same? I have seen a few adverts starting to pop up on TV as we're getting closer. I mean, what I would say is whatever they've done in order to sell the tickets they've sold, they've done a great job. I think it probably wasn't, I mean, I don't think I heard that long ago that they decided that it was going to be a pay-per-view. I think it was only about a week or so ago. So, I mean, should they have maybe had that sorted in advance? Sure. But to be honest, it feels to me like a late decision as to how they were going to present this show. Was it going to be a TV special? Was it going to be a pay-per-view? Was it going to be live? Was it going to be taped? I never doubted that we would see it. I always knew that we would see it, but like how, when, where? And then like it got announced about a week or two ago it was going to be a pay-per-view. So, and now I'm starting to see adverts for it. So I think we've still got time, haven't we? I think there's still plenty of time. So yeah, I'd say so far it's not been brilliant, but to be honest, you probably don't need to advertise it like ages in advance. Plus they've sold the tickets, haven't they? Do you think Connor will do something in WWE? Should Connor do something in WWE? I think it's an interesting question. I think that he is getting towards the end of his MMA career. I mean, we can't even seem to get him into the octagon. And it looks like even his fight with Chandler's falling through. He's not hurting for money, though. Don't know. Really don't know. I don't know, because I don't know if he's really bothered about doing it. You know, there's some people that really want to be a part of this world. I don't know that Connor does. In fact, whenever he spoke about wrestlers, he's always been pretty down on him. Apart from Ric Flair and Vince, he's got good words to say about those. Trick has come and pushed Ilya. If you come at me, I will break you, says Ilya. This is about me right now. Trick's fuming. Trick's not happy, man. He's really fired up about Ilya. I mean, get over it. That's my advice. Get over it. There's bigger problems in the world. Okay, Gable Steveson's going to make his decision known. What has he decided? Big Time said at the same time, you need to make it feel like a big deal to your US audience. When WWE has got a WrestleMania, people are talking about it in January. Here's Gable Steveson. I can't comment because I'm not in the US, so I don't know what the coverage is like. People are chanting for Gable. I mean, not loud, but just there's a few chants. Well, calm down, everyone. Gable, Gable. Thank you, thank you. Gable, Gable. Calm down. Listen, I need to talk, guys. I need to talk. Any of you might not know who I am. I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Gable Steveson. Yeah! USA! USA! Yeah, it should be out there in the stars and stripes. Where's the flag? He needs a 2x4. Oh! I won an Olympic gold medal. I'm a 2-time NCAA champ. I could be America's first ever 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Or nah, they don't like that. I could go and be a 3-time NCAA champ. No. Oh, I was just about to say. Been interrupted. By Corbin? Ah. Go back to college, says Corbin. Go back to the Olympics. Go back to the Olympics. Don't come to NXT. Don't come to NXT. If you come to NXT, I'll make you fail. Wasn't Gable Steveson drafted to Raw 2 years ago? Yes. I understand you're a bad man. Is the bad man It's quite short, isn't he, Steveson? Quite short. I didn't realize it was that short. Me versus you in my first match at the Great American Bash. German suplex by Steveson. Damn, man. So these two face to face at Great American Bash. Wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. So he's chosen NXT. So when he said I could be the first American wrestler to win 2 Olympic golds, and everyone was like, yeah, he's decided not to do that. I could do this amazing thing, but I'm not going to do that. It's too much hard work. So I'm going to stay here in NXT. I could be your 2-time Olympic gold medal. The first time that has ever happened. Yeah, USA, USA, USA. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay here in NXT. Yeah! NXT! NXT! I mean, in all fairness, as long as people have got something to chant. Right. Let's do quick little vid. Quick vid. Feels like quick vid time. It's really slow, man. Really slow. Everything's so slow. Why is everything so slow? Right. Interesting news coming out of NXT. Gable Steveson had a decision to make, and he has made that decision. He's decided that he is going to stay in NXT. This decision was made after Baron Corbin came out. Corbin came down and basically said, you need to go, because if you stick around, I will ensure that you fail. Gable Steveson said, well, you've just helped to make my decision a lot easier. I will see you at Great American Bash. So not only is Gable Steveson staying in NXT, he's also fighting this weekend at Great American Bash. That is going to be his debut in WWE, where he will be taking on Baron Corbin. Good match, good opponent, credible opponent. Great place for him to make his debut. I think NXT is going to be a great place for him to learn the ropes as well. Apparently, he's been doing a lot of learning behind the scenes anyway, and for a while, but seems like he is now fully committed to WWE, to NXT, and NXT is a great place, as we said, to really hone your craft, learn the skills you need to learn. We've seen some great talent coming out of there, and the knowledge that Gable has got, you know, obviously a Olympic gold medalist, 2-time NCAA wrestling champion. He has got all the kind of foundations and athleticism aspects that you would want to see in someone that could go on to be a success. So, yeah, very exciting. Great news. Gable Steveson staying in NXT. Right, let's go. Much love. Miss Cow, shout out to you. Right, we are just going back from commercial break. Ashley Love, shout out to you. Hayden said, I knew it. I called it. Yep, you did. Oh wow, look at that. Look at mommy getting her leg all the way up there. Woo! Mommy, 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 mommy. Mommy's always right and mommy's always on top. Yeah! Mommy, mommy, mom. That's going on the thumbnail. Styling and profiling. Woo! Mommy's always right. Woo! Mommy, mommy, mommy. Yeah! Yeah! Hayden's feeling it. Hayden's feeling it. Calm down, Hayden. Go and get yourself a glass of water, mate. Jeez, I've only just seen what Dana Brooke's wearing. What's going on? What's this Thirsty Tuesday? Jeez, she's come as like sexy Catwoman. Dana, 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 Dana. Yeah! We're eating good, pubs. Pubs of the world unite. It's Christmas. Booker's loving it. Oh, I'm loving it. Yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. What a time to be alive. Dana Brooke, I love it, says Shakeem. Lol, Dana Brooke. Okay, so it is Kendo matches. Cora Jade gets hurled. Okay. Dana Brooke with a kendo stick. Tell you what, this is Booker's dream. He gets planted. Dana does by Cora. Cora grabbing a kendo stick. They're fighting over by the commentary table. Oh, Cora just proper wallop Dana there. Woo! Proper just cracked her. Oh! She just leant her up against the side of the ring. Dana was like bent back like that. She just... Oh! Some of these shots, man, are brutal. Proper feeling them. Kendo stick match underway. Another kendo stick straight across the back. This is one of those where I'm sure Dana will show you pictures of the marks on her body following this match, because these are serious shots. These are those kind of shots where, you know, the body all gets marked up. Gets slammed onto the kendo sticks. Now she's being cross-faced. Kendo stick kind of on the chin, in the mouth. Cora Jade in control. Man, brutal. brutal. This is what Blood and Guts wanted to be. This is what Blood and Guts was trying to be. Brutal. Violent. In the corner goes, in many ways. I wonder how much hate I'll get if I tweet it out. I'm going to tweet it. I don't give a shit. I don't give a flip. I'm going to put, John Moxley wishes he was as badass as Dana Brooke. I don't give a flip. Let's go. Daze, what is the white thing on your hat? This thing. What thing? That thing. Little logo. Little logo. Shots coming in by Dana. Right, Dana going over in the corner. Cora Jade over in the other corner. Dana flipping over. Back elbow by Dana. Looking for a bulldog. Couldn't get it. She tried. God bless her. Double underhook DDT. Cora going for the cover. 1, 2. Shoulder up. She lives. She lives. She's alive. It's a fun match, man. It's a fun match. Cora looking for a cover. Going and grabbing a chair. But that's not allowed. That's, whoa, hang on. Hang on. That's not a kendo. That's not a kendo. Did you hear Booker? Anything. You can use anything. Watch this. You need to go back to where you belong. Dana is sat on this chair. Oh, man. Cora goes face first into the chair. Is she all right? Yes, she's all right. Dana with the chair. Jabbing it in the midsection. Straight across the back. She threw the chair. It sort of hit the ref. What's this? We got a pink kendo stick. Is there a Barbie chant? Chant. Barbie, 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 Barbie. Now she's absolutely walloping away. Wow, that kendo stick just broke. Cora Jade is down in the corner. The kendo stick broke as she was getting smashed with it. So Dana Brooks stacking up a load of kendo sticks, stacking up a load of chairs. Ugh. Suplex man onto the kendo sticks, onto the chair. Got to have respect for both of these women following this match. You've got to. Ah. Oh, wow. Dana gets the win. Dana gets the win. I didn't need the chair, but in a kendo stick match, you expect to see kendo sticks, and we got a lot of kendo sticks. Oof. Oh. Dana Brooke wins. Brutal. Brutal. Carmelo said Trick's not happy about the headbutt. So we're backstage with if Trick sticks to his challenge, I will break him tonight. And soon I will break you, says Elia. If you're Carmelo, you've got to be intimidated. I'd be intimidated by Elia. Because he just doesn't, he ain't backing down, he ain't going anywhere, is he? Sometimes you might be able to say to someone like, yeah, whatever, let me do one, bruv. Do one. He ain't going anywhere. So intense. This is the generation of Jades. Dana burnt all the biscuits in catering. The generation took an L. Godfather's Ho, shouts, you said very high Triple H. It's Taco Tuesday. Kiss RIP wrestling storylines, even the bloodline. RIP dance contests. Thank you. Thank you. Kim said, are Dyad, grizzled young veterans, still leaving in October? Also, does a free agent choose a brand or do they have free reign until the next drafts? So they can, well, to be honest, free agency isn't really something we've seen much in the past. So my understanding is that if you're a free agent, you're not really tied anywhere. So you can go anywhere. But I think they're still looking to kind of use them where they think they need them at that particular moment. So right now, you know, Corbin's down in NXT. I don't know that he's going to stay here for, you know, till the next draft. So, but I think this is home for him for a while. So I think they can go where they are felt that they are needed. Von Wagner's a free agent as well, isn't he? Right. Do you know about the yellow masks? What do you mean? Do I know about the yellow masks? The schism masks. Daze, what elite figure would you like to see that has never come out? I would like El Gran Gordo or Gary the Goat Garbut in an elite 2-pack. Would that be good toy line to come out? To be honest, serious answer, I'd like Bull Nakano. I'd like Bull Nakano. We've not that kind of mid-90s. I'm trying to think who else was around. You had Bull Nakano, you had obviously Bertha Faye. There was another lady who I forget. There was a woman that Alondra Blaze beats to actually become the women's champion. She wasn't around very long though, so I mean, I don't think we would necessarily get a figure of her. I don't think we necessarily should get a figure of her. It was very slim pickings for the women's division in the mid-90s. Very slim pickings. I watched that match just the other day. I watched the final. Heidi Lee Morgan, that was her name. Heidi Lee Morgan. So mid-90s, you had Heidi Lee Morgan, who actually wrestled on Raw a few times as well. Bertha Faye, Bull Nakano, Alondra Blaze. They did bring in Aja Aja Kong. They brought in a few Japanese women, kind of towards the end. But yeah, they scrapped the whole division in '95. So yeah, I've gotten a lot. They did an Alundra Blaze. They made an Alundra Blaze. So I would like a Bull Nakano, or I'll take a Bertha Faye, to be honest. Bang. I'm going to wait for Cora Jade is buried tweets. Let's go. Do you remember 2020 Money in the Bank in the headquarters? I thought it was something new and creative for the pandemic era, says Kashawn. I agree, Kashawn. I felt the same, but I don't think it was all great. I mean, the Doink the Clown thing, I thought was rubbish. I don't even know if they were trying to... I'd love to know if they thought we would think that was Doink. Or if it was... I don't know. But that was a real rubbish moment. Brother Love being in the toilets was amazing, though. That was amazing. That's a deep cut, man. Brother Love, that is proper, you know, SummerSlam 89, 90 kind of stuff. WrestleMania 5 kind of stuff, you know. Someone that we don't get to see that often. So that was cool. So yeah, there was some really good stuff in that Money in the Bank. And the men's and the women's on at the same time as well, wasn't it? Okay, so it looks like Damon Kemp's interested in joining with Gulak and Dempsey. That would be good. That would be good. These three as a faction would be very interesting. Okay, we've got the D'Angelo family and we got Nima and Prince. Oh man, I've only just seen the time. Can't believe it. Legit, this is flying tonight. Considering this is a go-home show, look at what we've just had with Cora Jade and Dana Brooke. I would argue, I would say that was Great American Bash quality. I actually think you could have done that match at Great American Bash. For a go-home, this does not feel lazy. Hayden, shout out to you, my friends. I will get to your comment in one sec. I just wanted to type down. It was Gulak, Dempsey. Approached by Damon Kemp. That would be good. Scripps is on commentary. I was just trying to listen to what he was saying. Scripps. Hayden said, I was at Raw last night. How did it sound on TV? Lots of LA night love from the crowd, and not just me. You're the best. Hayden, shout out to you. I thought the crowds were good. I don't remember saying that the crowd were flat or that the crowd were bad or anything along those lines. I think the crowd sounded good. I'm trying to think if I can give an example of. In fact, I think I did praise the crowd. I think I praised the crowd a couple of times when they were. Oh, the crowd were annoying when they were singing the song, but I can't blame like you lot for that because every crowd does that. I did see actually on the ups and downs, even What Culture said that some of the lines that Balor was delivering in that thing weren't landing because the crowd were just singing over the top of him. I do think that is a problem, but it's a problem that's not going to go away. And again, I've said before, can you really moan about the fans going to a live show and having fun? So I don't know. I'm a grumpy so and so when it comes to Seth's song. That would be the only thing I can think off the top of my head that was like down for the crowds. I think the rest of it, the crowd were red hot. I thought they were good. I'm trying to think when I praised them for a couple of things, and I can't remember what it was. I remember saying the crowd were really into this. I can't remember what it was. It was only last night as well. No, I'm going to say you came across well. Seem to remember having praise for the crowds. I thought they came across well. Tampa, wasn't it? Tampa. Yes. Who out of these do you not want to return? Sin Cara, Ascension, AOP, Timothy Thatcher, Justin Gabriel, Tyler Breeze, JTG. Who don't I want to return? I wouldn't take Justin Gabriel now. I think there's been not that interested, to be honest. I think that there's been plenty of other talent. He wouldn't do anything for me. Axiom attacked in scripts. Sin Cara, I could probably do without. I never really felt anything for Sin Cara. I like the Ascension when they were in NXT. They didn't do anything with them on the main roster, though. Although saying that, I mean, do you remember Cody was with them? And they were like the Cosmic Wasteland. I mean, so they were using Cody bad at that time. And look at how they use him now. If they were to get behind the Ascension, the Ascension were proper over in NXT. So I wouldn't be down on the Ascension coming back because I think you could always add good tag teams. Tag division always needs good tag teams. AOP, exactly the same. Timothy Thatcher, I think he's too good to not bring back, to be honest. D'Angelo family get the win. Justin Gabriel, I wouldn't take now. Tyler Breeze, love Tyler Breeze. I don't think he ever got his props. I don't think he ever got his flowers. I'd love for him to have another run. And JTG, because what happened with Shads, I think everyone would love him back. Okay, so the D'Angelo family pick up the win. Now Gallus are on screen just saying a few words. Your freedom will amount to nothing. It's always Gallus boys on top. So Gallus just send in a message. Obviously, building towards that match this weekend. We're looking at Dijak right now. Does Joe Coffey not own a hairbrush, said Jim. Good question. Justin said WWE needs Justin Gabriel to return at SummerSlam. James said Tyler Breeze, Thunder Liger was sensational. Weren't AOP with Theory and Seth when Seth was the Messiah? I believe there was a brief time that they were together, but I don't think it was very long. Another parking lot attack. Right, commercial break. Tony D and Stacks win, said WWE AEW fan. Daniela said Nima and Price were brilliant in that match. They are a brilliant tag team. Booker talking about Reggie says try EM Cascade. Right, we are going to commercial break. After the break, we're going to see the exclusive footage of Blair Davenport and Roxanne Perez brawling in a shop. I don't know the shop. It could be a 7-Eleven. It's got very strong 7-Eleven vibes. Is that still a thing? Is 7-Eleven still a thing? A load of the 7-Elevens in Florida closed down. It is still a thing. Breaking news. It is still a thing. We don't have them in the UK. Jeez. There are apparently 78,000 of them. Well, I can tell you there's a few that closed down in Florida. Actually, where Hogan's Beach Shop on International Drive in Orlando, that used to be a 7-Eleven. And I even went in that 7-Eleven before it was Hogan's Beach Shop. And in my mind, I can still picture exactly how it looked inside when it was a 7-Eleven. And last time I went to Florida in 2018, I went in there and it was Hogan's Beach Shop. And it was a bit trippy, actually, to go in there and it be exactly the same building, everything the same, but it obviously had different things inside. Because that 7-Eleven was there, I think, when I very first went in like 1997. So it was a bit weird seeing it all different now. Apparently they're in India and they're in Indonesia, they're in Cambodia, Hong Kong, Israel, Japan, Laos, Macau, never heard of it, China, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, the UAE, Vietnam, they're in Norway, they're in Denmark. The UK, what's this? No, they're not. No, they're not. During the 1980s, 7-Eleven convenience stores were in London. The first opened in South London. The UK had 57 7-Eleven stores, but they were sold in 1997. The company announced in 2014 they planned to return to the UK, but they did not get past the announcement. In 2019, the company again said it planned to return, but as of October 2022, no stores have opened. So they're not in the UK. There was 57 of them in the 80s in around the London area, but they all went in 97. They're in Canada, they're in Mexico. Supermarket News ranked 7-Eleven's North American operations as the number 11 in the top 75 North American food retailers. There you go. They were ranked 11th for food retailers in 2007. Yeah, they're basically like a convenience store. I mean, they're not really anything special, but they're pretty special for me. Zion Clark. Yeah, they're pretty special for me because everything's interesting. You go in and like all the chocolate bars are interesting, all the snacks are interesting, all the newspapers and magazines are interesting because they're all stuff that you don't tend to get here in the UK. It's like a shop of wonders, to be honest. 7-Eleven is good at closing stores. It's terrible at opening them, says Jim. Hayden said Hogan has announced his engagement to a yoga teacher, Sky Daly. After more than a year of dating, they were at a restaurant in Tampa. Sky is 45. Hogan is 69. God bless. Right, here we go. Here's the footage of, is this a 7-Eleven? Roxanne. Oh, boom, we're underway. Fight in the... This live is over. Right, I don't believe it is a 7-Eleven, guys. I don't believe it is a 7-Eleven. Oh, I love this, though. Fight in, don't fight on the tables. Fight by the food. Go to the food. Smacks her into in like a refrigerator. Go to the foods. Open out some of the produce. Waiting by the tables and the fridge. That's better. Yeah. Yeah, the cans are on the floor. Let's go. Oof. Brutal kick to the back. Take that woman's basket. Steal that woman's basket. Empty it out all over Roxanne. That way, it inconveniences that customer. Yeah! Inconvenience. 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 Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yeah! Cardboard, 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 cardboard boxes. Cardboard boxes. Oh, opening a refrigerator door. Open a bottle. Get the pasta sauce. Well, no, it's not. It's not totally what I wanted. Open some. Petrol. Open the petrol. Well, I'll take it. It's a weapons wild match, apparently, they're going to have. That's definitely not a 7-Eleven. No stores have shopping carts. Oh, Supernova Sessions! Let's go. Well, do you know what? I mean, it maybe didn't go quite as far as I was hoping, but still enjoyed it. Supernova Sessions, baby. Put your hands together. Yeah, no, I'm so sad. Look, he's just in his metaphor wheelchair. The real Heritage Cup champion. It's not. We did some research. Yeah. He was going to defend his Heritage Cup 6 weeks ago. He wasn't medically cleared. He pushed Nathan to his limit. Okay, to be the man, you got to beat the man. He's sad because he lost his Heritage Cup. Oh, he's not sad. He's sad because he's Scottish, said James. How are they going to fix it? Okay, here we go. They've got a great prize. The Heritage Cup? He's back. He's come back alive. Why is it back with him? Why is it? I don't understand. Why has he got it? How's he got it? The Undisputed. Okay, so he's got the hair. I don't understand. Be the man. You got to beat the man. So have they stolen it? Okay, so he's got the Heritage Cup, but oh my God, there's another Heritage Cup. There's 2 Heritage Cups. You get a Heritage Cup, and you get a Heritage Cup, and you get a Heritage Cup. Everyone gets a Heritage Cup. I didn't lose. Gets called a massive fraud. No, I can't stop thinking about that cup, said Joe. He loves that cup. If there's one thing I know about Noam, it's that he loves that cup. There's a 7-Eleven about 5 minutes down the road from me, says Hagen Daz. I'm Joe. Tranquilo, everyone. Valentina and Lisa arrive. So what are we doing? Hey? We've got Nathan Frazier, we got Dragon Lee, got you, Lisa, we got Valentina. Are we doing like an 8-person tag next week? What are we doing? We got a Chase You segment now. Thea, are you ready to train? Thea's ready. Right, we're seeing her doing a training montage. She's got a bit of muscle on her, hasn't she, Thea, actually? Think of me as her confidant, her motivate her. She's not the biggest or the strongest, but she has got heart. Ah, Jim, do you reckon they are going to put the belt on her because she is going to be the youngest? Too bad Thea is young, says Kirby. Did I miss halftime scores? We all missed halftime scores. I don't think I can win. I know I can win. Well, I like Thea. I like her a lot. I've liked her ever since we came back and started watching. Just don't think she is had enough feuds or had enough matches to be like the women's champion. Maybe Jim's right. Maybe they are going to pull the trigger on her. I think Gabriel is good, was always forced into being a jobber. He'd be a good mid-carder. Sin Cara in NXT, JTG with Nima and Price, says Kim. WWE AEW fan says, do you know what the main event is? I'm thinking it's now. I think it's Rhea against Lyra. We've only got, 20 minutes to go? I suppose there is the overrun. We are at commercial break, so are we going to do this and another match after? Would you have anything go on after Rhea Ripley? I'm thinking this is our main event. Kashawn says, do you remember how awful Raw was in 2018 with Constable Corbin, Drew McIntyre, Bobby as a faction, Authors of Pain ditching Paul Ellering with Drake Maverick? Oh, God, the Drake Maverick stuff. When he wet himself, was that year? Bembo said, thoughts about Man United away kit. Looks ugly. I thought it looked okay. I didn't think it didn't offend me. I thought it looked okay. I was more offended by the fact that you had to spend £90 for the rubbish version of it, just like the logo slapped on. I always look at shirts, to be honest, and I think, like, how would that look with jeans, and, like, would I wear it out? That's what I always tend to think when I look at a shirt. Because I don't really think about it from a on-the-field point of view. I always think about it in a do I want to buy it point of view. Do I want to buy it point of view? Would I wear it point of view? And I thought the away shirt looked okay. I wasn't in love with it. I wasn't reaching for my wallet to buy it. But equally, I didn't look at it and think, oh, God, that's atrocious. I would never wear that. I thought it was okay. It was all right. But yeah, the fact that it was £90 for the rubbish version, £130 odd for the proper all bells and whistles version, it's ridiculous. We talked about that on the Wrestling Escape pods. So expensive. Got a all-in advert right now. Great seats are still available. All in London, live August 27th. No United fan should buy anything till the Glazers are gone, said James. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can subscribe to that. I don't know how much I could weaken the team, you know? I mean, you look at the budget that United have got this summer, and you do think that if fans were spending more, would that budget be more? You know, we're sniffing around Hoyland. Could we be sniffing around Kane? I don't know. I don't know how much I believe in cutting your nose off to spite your face. I also don't know how much it's going to bother them or care. I mean, the fans have been so vocal. The fans have done whatever they can think to do. You know, there's been protests. There's been people saying they're not going to buy stuff for years. And it ain't got anywhere. It ain't done anything. They're still there. They've got an opportunity to sell now, and it looks like they're going to stay regardless. So I don't know that this is doing anything but just reducing the amount of money that Man United have got to play with. I don't know. Don't know if that. I don't know if I subscribe to that. Here's Los Lotharios. Listen to me. Are we chasing women or are we chasing glory? Wake up. Humberto Carrillo tells Angel Garza to wake up. Are we chasing women or are we chasing glory? Only one answer there, isn't there? Only one right answer there. Glory. Right, Lyra coming out. Valkyria getting into the ring. 7 months she's been in NXT. She's had a good run, actually. Oh, yeah. Rhea Ripley versus Lyra Valkyria. Let's go. Oh, yeah. I feel like it's been so much that's happened on this show. This show has absolutely flown. It has flown. It's flown like a bird trying to fly away. Right, Lyra and Rhea linking up in the middle of the ring. Rhea winning that strength battle. She is bigger. Do you know the enemy? Well, you've got to know the enemy, said Zoom. I would buy a fake one. They're cheaper. Just find a good maker. I've never dabbled in fake shirts, to be honest. Don't know. I think part of it is like if you are a fan, you do want your money to go to the club. It's not just about having the shirt represents your fandom and your support. That's your way of supporting your club, if you know what I mean. Because that's your way of basically giving some money to the club that you support. So I wouldn't want to go for like a fake shirt. I think if you're a kid and for you owning the shirt is something to play in down the park, or it's something just to show your friends this is the club I support, right? And you're not really thinking about the you know, donating, showing your support, giving the club money and all that stuff. But I think if you're a bit older, then I think maybe you would probably think more along those lines. I do. I couldn't buy a fake United shirt and wear it with pride. I couldn't buy a fake England shirt and wear it with pride. I would want to know that my money was going to United or going to England, the FA or whatever it might be. Hopefully to be reinvested in players or player development or whatever it might be. Shoulder barges there by Rhea. If Humberto and Angel could become a serious tag team, they could be a great team. Sonny said, I've got good news. This year, I might have a poetry book published. Where did that come from? With the help of my Danish friend from Denmark. That's where you find them. That is where you find them. Very cool. What's the poem about me called? Honey? That one called? That's the Sexy Man one, is it? I think that's called Sexy Man, isn't it? Sexy Man. Sexy YouTube Man. Sexy modest YouTube Man. That's it's that one, isn't it? The best. Dominik telling Lyra. Rhea is the best. I love how she slid through her legs there. Lyra looking slick. Slick, mate. Ooh, trying to go in between the legs, but Rhea grabs a hold of Lyra into a German, dumped her on her head, went for a drop kick. Lyra went flying to the outsides. Lyra bumping all over the place. Big match this for Lyra, and she's treating it as a big match. Daze, first of all, I want to say Noam Dar is underrated. He should be a future North American champion. Who do you think should win at Great American Bash? I'll probably do a prediction thing, will I? Yeah, well, might do it on Thursday. Because there's been more matches added, hasn't there? So we'll see where we are by the end of the show. And then I'll pop a little prediction thing out. The book is called The Thoughts Within. It's not up yet, but it's the works being published, dream come true to become an author. Yes, but that's not what I asked, is it, Sonny? That's not the question I asked, is it? I didn't ask what the book was called. I'm joking. That'll be good. I'm pleased for you, buds. Carmen Live, shout out to you. The Glazers will probably put the money into more of the sports teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, says Bembo. Well, that's James's point. You know, that the money's not going where it should go. I mean, I'm not aware that they're taking money out of Man United to fund Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Tampa Bay Buccaneers can fund itself. I think the concern is that they are taking money out as dividends. But as owners, that is their right. They are allowed to do that. The thing is that I don't think United fans are down on the amount of money that's been made available for transfers. I don't think you can be. United have spent so much. It's the mismanagement. It's where that money is spent. It's how that money is spent. But the one thing I don't think that can be criticised is that money has been made available. It's not like we've had summers where we're not buying anyone. So I feel that the money is being spent that the United fans are giving to the club. I feel like that does get put back in. The bigger problem is it's been spent wrong. But under this manager, I've got a lot more confidence it will be spent correctly. Rhea looking for backslide. We are back. Okay, we've got Lyra going against the ropes, round the houses. Big shot to the midsection there by Rhea. Stomped to the foot. James said they are taking money out the club to go into their own pockets. Yeah, but they are allowed to do that. Like, that is what managers, owners do, is they do take dividends. I don't see that as a problem. I think the fact that the club is in debt and was bought on debt, that is a problem. But that is also a way that clubs are purchased. I think United fans don't like the fact we didn't have debt. Now we've got loads. But unfortunately, that is the business world. Owners tend to come in and they tend to purchase clubs that way. And then obviously someone else will come in and they will buy the club and they will buy the club's debt. So I can understand why people are uneasy with it, and I'm certainly not someone that waves the flag for the Glazers. I'd be perfectly happy to see them go. But I don't know, I just sort of feel like I think a lot of United fans aren't looking at the fact this is how business works these days. Taking out dividends that's what you do. If you're an owner, you take out, like, that's why you own a club. Rhea climbing up. Talking about bad owners, I'm from Crawley, and Crawley's owners are really bad. We were playing in a game earlier, and the owners were doing a Twitter space about music. Haven't heard about Crawley's owners. Oh, Lyra! Drop kick through the ropes. Drop kicks Dominik Mysterio. Damn! Dominik goes flying. Rhea gets chucked back into the ring. Lyra with a crossbody. So Rhea was doing the Eddie Guerrero shimmy. She's got Lyra. Lyra planting Rhea. We've got about 8 minutes left here. Lyra climbing up. Looking for a splash. She splashes on Rhea. 1, 2. Kick out by Rhea. The Glazers have got a ton of money from Adidas for kits, says Stephen. Bembo says... Oh, we read that one. Big Guy says, wake up. They've been doing it for years. What are we talking about? If you're talking about taking money out of the club, that is what owners do. Like, they take a dividend. That's the whole point in owning a club. So that you can take out skim some of the profits. I mean, do you think there's going to be owners that are not going to do that? Do you think you'll get rid of the Glazers and get some owners that won't do that? I don't know. I don't know what certain United fans are expecting. Like, that's going to happen. Even when the Glazers go, like, that's going to happen. I think what the problem is that, and it's a weird conversation to have on a wrestling stream, but I think it's the debt that really bothers people. 1, 2, 3, and of course the mismanagement of the money not being spent correctly. But under Ten Hag, do you not have more confidence? I've got more confidence under Ten Hag that we won't make mistakes. Rhea picking up the win. Yeah, she gave a good performance there, Lyra. So, Riptide got the sweet dub for Rhea. Rhea comes over to Lyra, grabs her by the... Prove me right and beat JC Jane. I will. Prove me right and beat JC Jane. I will. We're backstage with Trick. So is he going to call out Dragunov? That's going to be our final segment then. So I think that was our main event from a match point of view. We're going to commercial break. We're just seeing Trick walk in the corridors backstage. But the owner of AR Dub Pro announced the AR Dub Pro event. I attended 100 Lake Stanton, Indiana. Carmen, shout out to you. Because Sean says, do you think WWE has given up on Karrion Kross? The feuds between Drew, Ray, AJ have done him no favors to connect him to the audience because he's all entrance. I don't think they've given up on Karrion. I think our idea of how to use Karrion and Triple H's idea of how to use Karrion are slightly different. I mean, Karrion was a big star down in NXT, so we expected him to come in and be like, you know, really working his way to the main event. And actually, the way that they've been using Karrion has been a bit more sparingly than what we were expecting. And there could be lots of reasons for that. You know, it could just be timing. It could be that creatively they've always got what they deem to be like a slightly better idea or a, you know, a story they want to tell more so than, but, you know, it's just maybe, you know, it just might not be the right time. It could be that, listen, behind the scenes, Karrion could be a little bit tricky, a bit argumentative, might be turning up late for things. I mean, none of that has come out. I don't know that to be true. but that could be a factor. You know, there could be a few little things like that, reasons as to why he's not getting invested in. But I don't think that he's dead, buried, it's over, or anything along those lines. I think the fact that he's been used fairly regular is a good sign. I think that I agree that there hasn't been much really for him to get his teeth into over the past 12 months. I would agree that it's certainly below what I was expecting us to do with him. But I think that he has got a solid mid-card run in him. And honestly, if they can get a bit of momentum, he's got a good look. I think Scarlett's good with him. I think that he has got potentially a world title run in him. Potentially. I certainly think he could be an opponent for a world champ. And depending on if he can get a bit of momentum out of one of these like feuds that they've been chucking him in, then you know, we might see him getting a bit of a run with the world title as well. So I'd say he's all right. I'm not expecting him to lose his job or anything along those lines. I just think because he was NXT champion, when he came in, I think we just had higher expectations for him. But NXT is so different to the main roster. I mean, Bo Dallas was NXT champion, you know? Adrian Neville was NXT champion. So you can sort of look at NXT and their champions. It's not really a sign that they're going to go on to become main event talent on the main roster. Doesn't necessarily mean that. Sami Zayn was NXT champion. He's outside of this year. He's been nowhere near the main event scene. He's been nowhere near it. And he was NXT champ. Bo Dallas, as we said, was NXT champ. Carrion was NXT champ. So I sort of think like maybe our expectations were a little too high. Maybe what we were thinking they were going to do with him just wasn't really in the plans. But I think he's all right. I think he'll be all right. I think he's a good person to have around. Oh, there we go. Now we've got the answer. There's going to be an 8-person mixed tag match with Metaphor, Dragon Lee, Nathan Frazier, Ulisa, and Valentina. Submission match as well. So they're just running down the Great American Bash cards. James said, for me, it's always been about the debt and letting Old Trafford go to ruin. It was once the Theatre of Dreams, and now it is the Theatre of Nightmares, but in Ten Hag we trust. Yeah, I agree. I mean, as I said, I wouldn't wave the flag for them at all. I'd quite happily see them go. I think the debt is a big thing because we weren't in debt and then we are now in debt. And I think that we've wasted a lot of money. I do think though that when we have bought some of these players, I don't think there's been too many occasions where we've bought them and I've thought, oh, I don't like that. I mean, when we got Sancho, I was quite excited. When we got Anthony, I was quite excited. Even when we got Donny, I mean, I remember when we got Donny, I didn't quite understand why we bought him. But I was like, well, he'll be good for the squads. I certainly didn't think, oh, that's a waste. I just thought, well, you know, he can go in the squads. He'll be all right for the squads. So I sort of feel like they've spent money on what they have thought were going to be good signings, you know. I knew we'd overpaid for Maguire, but I didn't think it was a bad purchase. I just thought, wow, we've overpaid by about 30 million there, but, well, you know, we're Man United, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, you know, it was... We definitely are looking to do things different now. We're not getting bullied in the transfer market as much, are we? We're kind of standing our ground. We'll walk away from deals now. So yeah, I agree. I got more confidence in the transfer market now. Here's Elia making his way down. He calls him out. Drop kick by Trick. Elia stumbling all over the place. A little bit rocked here after that drop kick. Trick hurling Elia into the barricades. Wow, he's proper going to town here. Shots coming in by Trick. Forearm strikes there by Trick. Looking to pick up and plant Ilya. You're looking good here, Trick. He's looking good. I tell you what, Trick is someone that I think is underrated because he's always just the guy. He's the Marty Jannetty, isn't he? He's the other guy to Carmelo Hayes. But he's big and he's strong and he's got a good look. And when he does start throwing, he can go. He's confident on the mic as well. Ilya grabbing Trick, hurling him in the ring. Trick's back in the corner. I feel like Trickers took like a lot of work to get him to where he is. I feel like part of the reason why he gets overlooked is because when he first came in, he was the side guy to Carmelo. And you fast forward and he's still the side guy. And he doesn't get that many moments or matches. But when he does get a time, like an opportunity to show what he can do, he normally looks pretty good. Ilya's fighting back. Ilya grabbing Trick, turn him over. Oof, big forearm. Where's Carmelo? Oh, man. Big, heavy shot whilst Trick is down on the ground. That would have knocked him silly, man. Oh. Trick hurled in the corner. Ilya over in the corner, looking to charge over. Oh, Carmelo gets in. Well, it don't matter, does it? Shouldn't be in the ring. Don't worry about it, Ilya. Carmelo sacrifices himself there. Ilya grabs the belt. You are a man of honor, Carmelo. That is rare. After Great American Bash, your friendship with Trick will be all you have. It sort of feels like Ilya's being positioned a little bit as the heel, but he hasn't done anything heelish. He hasn't done anything wrong, has he? I like Ilya. I like him a lot. Holds up that championship. Good. Tell you what, that show, so easy to watch. So easy to watch. Just, I couldn't believe it. I looked at the time, and it was like 20 minutes past the second hour. And I honestly thought it was 22, not 20 past. So I don't know where them 40 minutes went. But the Dana Brooke Cora Jade match, thought was good. Really enjoyed that. This didn't feel like a boring go home. Rhea Ripley against Lyra Valkyria, I thought was a fun match as well. Nima Price, yep, looked good. Yeah, the in-ring stuff was pretty solid. A few little surprises as well. Gable Steveson staying is not a surprise, but him having a match this weekend against Baron Corbin, that is a surprise. Metaphor going to be in action this weekend as a team. I think that might be the first time we're going to see them as a team. I think that's interesting. The brawl in the supermarket was fun as well. I would have liked them to have gone a bit further, of course, but still fun. Yeah, there was some fun stuff here. Add in the fact that this was a go home. Add in the fact that the big show is this weekend. It is possible to do fun, entertaining go home shows, you know. It is. It's actually possible. Let's do a quick poll and see if you lot enjoyed it as well. We'll ask scores to 10, 7 to 775, 6 to 675, 575 or below. Who do you think would have been good NXT champ if it was around in the 90s? Maybe a young going Hart. Young going Hart, definitely. Would he have come through NXT? I suppose he would. I don't know if they would have just put them straight onto the main, because back then you had Stampede, didn't you? So they sort of cut their teeth in Stampedes and then came into WWE, but they probably would still want to put them in NXT, wouldn't they, if NXT was around? It's weird, NXT, there wasn't a developmental. Not that I'm aware of in like the late 80s, early 90s. I'm not aware of WWE. They just took people from the territories, didn't they? The territories were their developmentals. Imagine like, I don't know, Ricky Steamboat coming through there. And I love that. Owen Hart's a great shout. That's a great shout. That's weird. I mean, like, I reckon there would have been a big guy that would have done it because of them. Like, I'm thinking Warlord, you know, like Warlords never really did much on the main roster, but he was like, I could see him being the Karrion Kross of his day. I could see Warlord being amazing in NXT and then getting to the main roster and just being so-so. Just like how we were talking about Karrion. Karrion Kross is this generation's Warlord. I don't think that's a bad comparison. I don't think that's a bad comparison at all. Benoit, do you reckon Benoit would have done it in NXT? I could see Benoit. You know, he's kind of like, I mean, he was amazing in ring, an amazing talent. Very intense, very technical. I could see him having a good NXT career. Eddie, Ray. Yeah, there's a few in there. It's fun to think about. Texas Tornado, yeah. What do you think WWE is doing with Gargano, Dexter, Candice, Tegan, Emma? I get if no plans might put in over others if they've been off TV for months. But I think Gargano's had an injury. I think, to be honest, Gargano, Ciampa, Candice, I think all of them are meant to be doing like the way. I think they're meant to be in a group, in a faction. So I think the fact that Johnny has been injured has sort of derailed all of that. So that means that we're that's another reason why I think pushes can fall flat, is because there might be plans that fall through. You know, you're the person that you might have been feuding with might be injured, and now all your plans have changed. And this time, you know, it's Johnny's got an injury, and so as a result, all the plans have had to change. So I think for those, it's that. Emma, I don't think, I could be wrong, but I think that they just want a steady head around. They just want someone that they can use in a tag team as an opponent, someone that can take some L's. I don't think they brought her in with the idea of her being like a world champion. So I think she's just like there to maybe be with Madcap if needed. have some mixed tag matches. She could be put in a tag team. She's just versatile. She's, you know, I think Triple H likes her because he's obviously worked with her in NXT. He knows he can trust her. He knows that she won't let him down. He knows that she's good in the ring. He knows that she knows what she's doing. And he's probably looking at that thinking, I could do with that on the main roster right now. I actually think Emma's a good signing. I think Emma's a decent signing. Tegan, maybe the same. I must admit, I don't quite get the Tegan signing just because her injuries mean that she could get injured again. You know, she's done her knees before. She feels quite fragile. I think he likes her, and I think he sees great potential in her. But I just think she's a bit of a risk just because of her injuries. But I don't know, maybe you shouldn't think that way, you know? Maybe he's just a better person than me. So I must admit, the Tegan one I didn't get at the time, and I still don't get now. I can understand the Emma one. I understand why we've not done anything with Dexter and Candice and whatever, because I think all of that was hinging on the Johnny injury. And hopefully we make some progress with that now that I've heard he's back. Ashton, shout out to you. Said, have you been watching Ultimate Fighter? I haven't, no. I don't tend to watch too much of Ultimate Fighter, if I'm being honest. It's a show that I really enjoyed back in the day, but I think it's a case of been there, done it, got the t-shirts in it. It's a show that feels like it's gone a little stale. I've seen a few little bits with obviously Connor being one of the coaches this time around. But to be honest, the ratings have been really low for it. I don't think it's massively grabbed people like they were hoping it would. And yeah, I must admit, I've seen a bit of it. It was okay. It didn't grab me. So I can't say I've been going out my way to try and check it out. So no, I can't say. I mean, I've seen probably a bit of the first episode. That's about it. But back in the day, I used to really enjoy it. I don't know if it was like of its time, you know? I mean, like those kind of reality shows were everywhere back in the day. I don't feel that they're around as much now. I don't feel like they're... I think there's other stuff people are after in this day and age. I think it's hard in this day and age. Really hard, because you got TikTok, you got YouTube, you got so much, you know. People can have short content that's like literally seconds long. They can have like hour-long streams. You know, there's so much stuff that you can, you know, any niche interest that you've got that in the past you might never see a program on. Now you can go on YouTube and find whatever you want to find. I mean, it's mental, in it. You know, back in the day, if you loved, say, the Turtles, you could watch the Turtles cartoon, and that would be it. Now you could go on there and you could watch videos of all the episodes ranked, Easter eggs hidden in the episodes, the top 10 turtle figures ever released. I'm sure there's all of that kind of, all those videos that are available. So it's just different now. Like now, like your specific needs are being met, so you don't really have to settle anymore. You don't have to watch what they force you to watch anymore. The Man, not Becky. Maybe it was. So no, to answer your question, I haven't seen. Collision did 618. It's breathing down NXT's back. NXT did 746, and it's breathing on Dynamite, said Big Time Baxter. We are overloaded with media, said Retribution. Media entertainment is becoming quite depressing. You don't feel like watching anything anymore because there's too much. Outside Gargano, a lot of the names include Carrion, Hit Row, Bronson have been getting no reaction, which also might be keeping them back. Maybe. I think Bronson's doing all right. I think I would agree that they're not getting much in the way of reaction, but you've sort of got to start somewhere, you know. The reason they're not getting a reaction is because, as we said, there's a massive gulf between NXT and the main roster. If you're someone that watches NXT, it's great, that's cool. So do I. It's a great product. Really enjoy it, and I really enjoyed this week, but it is not a show that the masses are watching, and the ratings tell us that. So its ratings are probably better than ever right now, but normally it's 500 and some odd thousands compared to Raw's 1.8 million, SmackDown's 2.2. So it's if you're a big star in NXT, you are still a very, very small star in the WWE verse. So the fact that like Bronson, Hit Row, all these people have gone to the main roster, like you have to start again with them. You can't just rely on. You can't just look at Bronson and go, "Oh, he's not getting a reaction," because well, what have you done to get him a reaction? Because if you think he's just going to get a reaction because people are remembering him from NXT, there is no chance of that happening because of the difference. Just it's so much bigger. It's a different. Well, I've said before, it's like being the manager of a corner shop and then being promoted to the manager of a hypermarket, right? Being the manager of one of those massive Walmarts. Like, it's the same sort of thing, but on a scale that's just unfathomably bigger, which means that you can do it, but oh God, you're going to need support, right? You're definitely going to need support. You're going to need some training, extra training, all this kind of stuff. It's just a different level, different league. And so, yeah, Bronson's going to need some good stories, good creative. Same with Hit Row, they're going to need some good stories, good creative, if you want to actually get some reactions. And Hit Row have just been used as jobbers. Bronson Reed, I think's all right. He's in a bit of a feud at the moment, doing a few bits with him on Raw. Yeah, I think he'll be all right. I think Carrion will be all right. Again, what are you doing for him? Got to put him in some meaningful feuds and actually give him something to get his teeth into. So over to you, Mr. H, Mr. Triple H. Kashawn says, do you remember that one episode of SmackDown when NXT Black and Gold invaded because the main roster was stuck in Saudi and we got that awesome Cole and Bryan match? Yeah, I do. I must admit, I'd forgotten that it was Cole against Bryan. I couldn't have told you what matches we'd got, but I do remember the excitement of doing the watch along. The watch along for that will be on the channel when they were still stuck abroad, and it was like, how are they going to fill this time? I think we had established a few names of main talent. I think The Miz might have been one off the top of my head that had stayed behind. So I seem to recall going into that stream going, well, they've got such and such, and they've got such and such, and they've got such and such. And I think we'd heard rumors that a few NXT talent were being brought in as well. So it was actually really exciting to see what show they were going to put on. And there's something really special about a show like that because that it doesn't play into like any long-term stories because they haven't planned for that show. They haven't got any stories planned. Like, this shouldn't be happening. And there's always something exciting about something that shouldn't be happening. And also, like, it feels like it's going to be its own universe. Like, whatever happens on that show probably just stays on that show. You could always refer back to it in the future if you wanted to, but that this wasn't planned. And so I just remember that being really exciting. Like, we're really going to see something. Because even if it's a car crash, we will still say, do you remember that episode when it all fell apart because they were stuck in Saudi, blah, 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 blah. So, and I remember it being all right. It was an all right episode. It was actually quite well received. Yeah, it's been a little while since that now. United Wrexham, who cares, says James. Selvin said, when are you gonna do a hat giveaway? I'm super sad I missed it. I don't have any hats to give away, to be honest. I've only got one hat that actually properly fits me, so I certainly can't give that away. It's my grey hat that I don't even know where it is. This one is a little, you might notice as I'm talking, it constantly like keeps going up like this, and I'm constantly having to pull it back down again because it's just a little bit too small. Even though like all these hats are like what meant to be one size fits all, it still just keeps riding up. It's really like annoying. So I probably need to go out and just buy a load of like better fitting hats. But I haven't. I'm confused. NXT is 2 hours. Yes. Kim said, if they bring back The Fiend and Bray ditches his old gimmick, then what does Bo do? Because Uncle Howdy would not be needed. Well, they would probably find something else for Bo to do. I don't know that they would necessarily release him. I'm sure they would just find an alternative thing for him to do. Let's see. The high school I graduated from, Morton High School, events I attended. I didn't attend in October. Carmen, shout out to you. Godfather So said, is wrestling over? Yes. Completely messed up. How did Raw end last night? Went to bed. Well, I've got that little recap video, buds. 2 minutes. It'll tell you everything that happened on Raw. Everything you need to know. I mean, it's literally the reason why I do them. So, right there for you, mate. Right there. Daze, you're right about the NXT transition. Cameron Grimes, Albert, and Dawn, JD, Caden, Katana, they are drowning. Pretty Deadly and Waller are swimming. Q the Light Knight said, we are working on it for next year, not sooner. Bray is not coming back. My prediction, said Lance. Unmag said, why is Bron Breakker losing so often? Is he? Is he? I mean, he lost the title to Carmelo, but I mean, that's so that he could drop the title and concentrate on some other stories away from the title, give someone else a run with it. So, not bothered about that. I think maybe losing in the rematch to not win it back. I mean, again, he doesn't need the title. He's had a good long run with it, so not bothered about that. Oh, who else did he lose to? I mean, he lost to Seth, but that was for the world title. So I can sort of understand him not winning that match. So I'm all right with that. Has he lost to anyone? Has he lost in a match that isn't for a title? Has he had a match with someone that's not for a title recently that he's lost? I mean, he's going to face Von. I think this will be interesting. Him and Von, I don't actually know which way they'll go on that. I feel like both guys need the win, so actually, you might want to turn away because I sort of feel like Von has been on this massive story arc, and now he's at the point where he needs to get a win. I mean, if he loses against Braun, I've got to say I'd be surprised. So I think we should be seeing Von pick up the dub. So maybe Braun might take an L now. Did you see the backstage interaction between Pretty Deadly, Tony D, and Stacks on SmackDown, where Pretty Deadly tried to hide their faces because they were stuffed in the trunk by them in NXT? No, I didn't. No. That's fun. Alba Fire and Dawn look like they attained jobber status on main roster. The gimmick just doesn't click with WWE management compared to NXT, says Big Time. Sylvan said Bron is going to lose backlash for his dad's comments. I don't think that's true, to be honest. I don't think that's true because if there was going to be a backlash to his dad's comments, I don't think they would have him lose because that's not real. That's not really punishment. punishment would be taking him off TV. So if you are worried about the backlash from the comments, you would take him off TV and away from people. You wouldn't have him be seen because you'd be worried about the backlash. I don't think you would have him like, well, you wouldn't like book him to lose because of something his dad said. I can't subscribe to that. I think JD McDonough will join Finn Balor after SummerSlam, but Zion Quinn has just been missing since that Battle Royal. They need big guys on the main roster, says Unmag. We'll stick around for a couple more minutes. I mean, we've normally go to about 15:15. But here we are, knocking on the door of 30:30. SmackDown needs more matches, said Richard. Carmen says, I give NXT an 8. Good. Positive score. Stephen with an 8 as well. Kashawn said, I also remember Seth versus Adam Cole on Raw, but it ended in a DQ because of the Survivor Series brand supremacy nonsense. Aaron with a 10. Does the Raw roster feel depleted? It looks like they're operating with half a roster. Does it feel depleted? I mean, it's. I would say the shows have felt depleted over the past week or so. They haven't been letting anyone go for a long time, so it shouldn't be depleted. We got. I mean, Braun's injured. Johnny's been injured. Candice has been off TV as a result. Loomis has been off TV. Drew has been off TV. He's just come back. Indy's been off TV. We haven't seen much of Jinder and Indashir. We haven't seen Mansoor or Marseille. We haven't seen Kofi. We haven't seen Odyssey Jones. We haven't seen much of Piper Niven. Actually, when you sit and go down, you know, there's a good chunk of people that have not been around. Xavier Woods. Tommaso's been missing for a lot of this year. Shinsuke's been missing for a lot of this year. Tegan Knox isn't around much. Xia Lee's not around much. I think, I mean, there's a few injuries in there, of course. I think they've got certain superstars that they are really looking to tell some stories with. And so they're really dialed in and focused on those. And I think once we get past SummerSlam, you'll see some new superstars getting focused on. And so, like, this is where I think Kaden Katana will come back into the mix. I think this is where, you know, you'll start to see Johnny and Candice and all of those come back into the mix. So, you know, I think part of the situation is that we know what matches we're doing at SummerSlam. We know what we need to build, what stories we need to tell. There's not really a need to be using Xia Li for the sake of it. And I would say that's probably the same for a few others as well. Mixed in with your injuries means, does it feel a bit depleted? Yeah, I would say so. I would say it felt like, but I heard that they said that there was a lot of changes that were made the other day due to, was it a COVID scare? I'm sure this was on Fightful, that there was like a load of changes that had been made. So I remember making the comment, this feels like one of those shows where we've only got a certain amount of superstars. Like, I think it might have been the week where we had to use Judgment Day like 4 or 5 times. And it was like, this feels like one of those weeks where we're just having to really stretch these people out because this is all we've got. So, and I think I read that was something to do with like backstage last minute rewrites due to like potential COVID scare. So there could have been some stuff going on behind the scenes recently. There could have been a few additional reasons as to why it felt that way. Right. I think we are about done. Do you think Dragunov is winning? I hope so. I hope so. Okay, let's end the poll. Gonna go off and do the I'm gonna let Kia go outside. Now I'm gonna do the little review recap video. So 45% of people said this was 8 to 10, 41% said 7 to 7.75, 10% said it was in the sixes, and 3% said it was 5.75 or below. So I mean, that is what 86% said this was basically 7 or above. Really strong showing for a go home. I mean, a really impressive showing for a go home. Enjoyed it. It was good. I've really been enjoying NXT recently, and this just add another one to the list. Of course, we are doing Crawford versus Spence. We are doing that on Saturday. Massive fight. Huge. If you haven't dropped a like on that stream, consider doing it. We're trying to get it to 1,000. And I think last time I saw it was on 18. But obviously, like we'll make progress with that when we actually go live on Saturday. It's only Tuesday. So, but yeah, you know, if you haven't left a like on that, leave a like on that. Be greatly appreciated. That is going to be a big stream, hopefully. And there's certainly been a lot of interest in it. I've had so many people asking me about it. You know, when you can just tell that there's a real buzz around summer, no-brainer. Crawford against Spence is going to be huge. So we're doing that on Saturday. And, of course, on Sunday, Great American Bash. So we're doing that on Sunday. Of course, we've got SmackDown. We're back tomorrow for AEW as well. So much on the way. So much happening. So much going down in Wrestling Town. And I appreciate you lot joining us for these watch-alongs. So have a great evening wherever you are doing whatever you're doing. Stay safe, be happy, and I will see you again next time.